It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
From the Xfinity Studio. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Post-trade deadline. Seismic stuff happening yesterday in the NFL. Right. To the Cowboys. It's unbelievable, man. They back up the truck to get Quentin Williams, who's a good player, a very good player. But the beauty of all this stuff that's happening is they had their team with Micah, right? But because they messed that up so royally, they had to go out and they had to go spend a fortune to get Quentin Williams, like who's a really good player. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's very good, but he is also inside, right? You had your guy, and they completely completely blew it up. Like they messed up royally. The beauty of having Jerry Jones here in the division. I mean, it's a great gift. It's a gift that keeps on giving. Look, he's going to help them without a doubt. But the truth is, that defense, the secondary's messed up. They got a lot of issues that, a middle linebacker from the Bengals and even Quentin Williams is not going to fix overnight. And as much as their offense is good, we saw it Monday night. We saw Arizona and, shut down. So I love the fact that they go all in trying to mortgage their future right now. I just think the Eagles just show the way, man. The Eagles moves make sense. Howie's moves all make sense. They don't mortgage the future. Like you think about it, you get Phillips, he might not be the best edge guy to move during the deadline, right? Jalen Phillips, the best edge guy to move. So you get him for your own third-round pick. And the beauty of the way Howie's mind works is you already have the Jets pick, which is valuable. You keep that, you trade your third-round pick, and you're going to get a compensatory pick next year. So you're good. Like it all fits. Everybody they picked up. Like I get Jair Alexander was awful in Baltimore, but who knows, right? Christian Parker has some experience with him. But everybody that they got had experience. Michael Carter had experience, right? They all had experience. So that's a big deal. It's a big deal, right? Down to Phillips, who was with Fangio. So the beauty of this whole thing is the Eagles and Howie, they make sense. Everything they do, it works. It fits. The fit is perfect. We look at the Cowboys, having to, rob Peter to pay Paul. That's basically what they're doing. And they're impacting their own future. The beauty of this Eagles team and the way it runs. Hey, look, Jair Alexander may be wise at 28. I don't know. Worth the fly. Phillips, it may just be a rental, and I don't know. Obviously, has a history of maybe it doesn't work out. But the moves make sense. Like everything. Like, let's attack the corner spot with bodies. That's smart. What the Eagles do is smart. I just love what they've done. What's going on here?
The mic's not working.
All right. So the concept of everything that they do is smart. It works. It fits. Even if the move doesn't make sense, it fits. There's a reasoning behind it. It's not acting willy-nilly. It's not acting rash. And that's what Jerry does. Jerry's a big rash. Right? That's what he does. And that's beautiful if you're an Eagles fan. Look at the division and how they each of these teams messed up royally. Now, the Giants get lucky with Jackson Dart. But they've been floundering up until now. They got lucky with Dart, and I think Dart's going to be a player. Washington completely messed up. They got old. They didn't fix the right positions. They went into the season with an old, thick Debo. Like, what sense did that make? Signing, spending that money. There's all these fleet receivers everywhere, and you do that? And then they had no running back. They completely, and their defense was nondescript. Not one part of that unit was any good. So how they constructed their team with flaws everywhere. And the Eagles just do it the right way. So we're going to toast the Eagles during the deadline today, after the deadline passes. We'll toast the Eagles today. I just think it's just smart. What they've done is just smart. Sixers last night. I know people are upset, and I get it. Like, I get Embiid automatically, when he comes back in the fourth quarter, they don't score a field goal for the last 6 minutes of the game, right? They all of a sudden go from, AAU, fleet of foot to plotting. And he had a couple bad turnovers, a bad shot. Maxey had some tired legs. But I understand what Nick Nurse is doing. And the truth of the matter is, he's got to become acclimated to finishing games. Look, it's the beginning of the season. These games are AAU games. Nobody's playing defense. You're just out there. That's it. All right? At some point, when the games get real and there's the playoffs, like, you're not running. People think you could play this style in the playoffs. You can't. The game changes in the playoffs. Guys defend every possession in the playoffs. So the game organically becomes a slower game. Not to say you can't run, but the game becomes more about possessions. You're going to need Embiid by that point to be able to be a role player. Now, again, I don't want the offense to go through him because I get it. It bogs down. But what I do want is I want him to become a really valuable role player. He blocked a couple shots during the stretch, swept a couple boards. You don't have anybody on this team that can truly rebound and block shots. Bona is God love him. He's a good young athlete, and he's trying to figure out the game. But he's not ready to play in the playoffs and grab boards and block, be a rim protector, and not commit silly fouls. Like, he's got a lot of growing to do. You need Embiid. Embiid's not going anywhere. All right? Like, so it's not like you go, well, get rid of Embiid. You can't, and you're not. All right? So he's a part of it. You got to acclimate him into the fourth quarter. And this is where it starts. As much as I hate to say this, but it's the truth. These games don't mean a lot. As long as you win your share, they don't mean a lot. What matters is having a rotation, and I think this team could actually make noise in the playoffs. Integrating Paul George when he comes back. Getting Embiid during this whole season prepared to go for that playoff run where he can give you 25 strong minutes, 28 strong minutes, where, he can rebound on the defensive end, kick out, they can run a little bit, all right, offensively, pop it, draw some fouls, right? Like, that's what you want out of him. Block shot, be the rim protector. That's what you want out of him. That's what you're going to need if this thing's going to be serious and you're going to make a run. Like, you just can't flush Embiid. So we'll get more on the Sixers coming up. But I see my boy. What? All right, let's take a quick break, and then let's do this. Let's take a quick break, and then coming up, I see him. He's ready to go. Oh, gets me excited. BG in the house. So BG and my main man, Bo Wolf, coming up in just a second. How about a little Shady Rays, VG?
I can't wait to talk about my favorite sunglasses. ShadyRays.com. That's where you get the good deals, the good shades. You know that moment when you might have left your favorite sunglasses at the beach, on the roof of your car, at a gas station 3 states away, or maybe even just in a hotel in another country like I did. And then you're all worried about bringing your sunglasses out with you, and you don't really wear them. But Shady Rays changes the game. They're sunglasses that are made for real life. Seriously good looking, polarized, durable, not stupidly expensive. And here's the crazy, crazy part. If you lose them, if you break them on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, nothing, just replacements. So now I wear my sunglasses everywhere without fear. I bring them to ball games, hikes, concerts, mosh pits, on the boat, wherever I go, because Shady Rays is the eyewear that has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head over to ShadyRays.com and use the code PHLY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. And try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. ShadyRays.com.
All right. Hey, let's talk about Xfinity. All right, because you know how much I love it. Listen, it's part of our lives, right? We love watching sports. We love it. There's nothing better than watching our favorite team. Like, I got my quad box, all right, my multi-view always ready to go, whether it's Birds and Sixers and Flyers and everybody going on. Oh, my, got it all. It's the greatest way to fan. Look, we're fan people here, all right? We love sports. We love our Birds. The way we do it is the best, all right? And Xfinity, which is our local company, does it the greatest, all right? So check it out. Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K. So clear, it feels like you're in the stadium, the arena, the ballpark. All right, you can do your multi-view like me. You get real-time notifications and live stats right on your television. The best seat in the house every time. Next game day, make sure that big fan isn't a big fail. BG would be upset. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Yeah.
Here we go.
Corners. All right. Perfect. All right.
Man.
I'm very excited because every Tuesday, now today's Wednesday, but moving forward, it's going to be every Tuesday.
It's a football Tuesday.
We're going to have our people, the Bo Wolf from the All PHLY Bird Show, and the great one, our man, BG Unblocked. That's it, baby. Good morning, BG.
Morning.
So much to go over, man. It was a wild trade deadline.
It was.
So here's my take for you guys, right? The way Howie and the Eagles do things, it's smart. It's thought out, right? If you think about it, Jalen Phillips, the best edge guy that's out there, that's not you, that's out there.
No, for real.
He has a history with Vic. Makes sense. Eagles land him for a third. They're able to keep their Jets pick that they have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get a compensatory pick.
Yeah.
So you didn't mortgage your future like another team in the NFC East that, look, Quentin Williams is a terrific player.
Yeah.
But they gave up a lot, the Cowboys, BG.
They did. They did. And I mess with Quentin too. And I think he's going to be a good addition for him. But boy, man, they had Micah right there. All they had to do was pay him. And then, boy, to do that, man, because Micah was two people in one. So I don't know. It was something there. I just, like you said, that's why we got our GM.
Well, and they're thought out, right?
Yeah,
like
thought out.
Hey, we got an issue with CB2. Everybody knows it, and they go, we're going to attack it with bodies,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
right? we're going to attack it with, we'll see if Jair Alexander's got something left. All right? We know we got Jacorian Bennett.
No.
We know we got Michael Carter, right? And we got Cooper that could play, that could be very versatile.
Yep, versatile for sure. And that's what I'm saying. Like Howie has sewn up everything that we needed. Now we just got to put it on display coming up and show what areas are we really good at now that we sewn up those areas. And man, I can't wait to just do it together because that's really all it is.
The thoughtfulness that you talk about, Cuz, I think is exactly right, because we've talked about how Jeffrey Lurie has said they view the beginning of the season as kind of like the preseason, right? You got to figure out what kind of team you have.
Identity, we talked about a lot, identity.
Yes.
And with this Eagles team, with Howie, knowing he has 3 third-round picks, I don't think there was any chance he was going to exit the trade deadline without trading one of those picks for whoever the best guy he could get for it was, right? I think he always viewed, we've got a pick here that I'm going to use midseason to help fix whatever I need to help fix. And Jalen Phillips certainly is along those lines.
Yeah, and like what we talked about earlier, is he got Joe Douglas that's in there that talked about probably Michael Carter. Then you got relationships that you have in Miami with Mr. Lurie and Steve talking about different players.
And Fangio.
You know, Fangio already being with him, right? That's a good one. Fangio. And
Christian Parker
Yeah.
was with Jair.
Exactly.
yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. Like we got all these people in there and they did their homework for sure. And that's why, I feel like we won the trade deadline.
Talk to us about Jalen Phillips
Mhm.
and what he's going to bring and how everybody kind of will have a role now. It's kind of slotted in.
Well, he's gonna be explosive. You see him out there. He got a motor and somebody that loves the inside move, like you said.
We were just watching him a little bit, yeah.
That boy, man, he reminds me definitely of a Sweaty because of how long he is, 6'6". I mean, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool to watch him because man, he brings the effort. Can't wait to see how he is in the heat of the moment. Is he a trash talker? Like how he go about his business, and then let's do it together.
So, and when it works out, when everybody's healthy, it really kind of slots out perfectly, right?
Yes, it does.
Between, Nolan and Jalen and Jalix and you and Uche, like now all of a sudden, like you got I think it's a great rotation.
Yeah.
And that's how you win, man. You know better than anybody.
That's how you win, man. And you got to keep building together because every day is not going to be as sweet as you want it to be. But if we all out here encouraging each other and really pushing on those days, man, I can hang my hat on that because I feel like we gave the best effort that we could today. Sometimes you don't have it as much as you would like to sometimes because you might be dealing with something. But at the same time, I feel like when you got your brothers out there, man, and in the game, I can count on you. That's a great feeling to have right there.
And it does give Vic another little change up because a lot of Jalen Phillips' success this season has come inside. And so maybe on those third down rushes, we get 3 of you guys on the field at the same time with Jalen Carter really putting like the fear of God in those quarterbacks.
You can really get exotic with all the
Jahai
different
Campbell,
plays.
you got
all the different plays.
Right.
You got a 5-man blitz where you got Jahai Campbell coming up the middle.
second level.
Why
yeah.
you still got the hair on fire and all the guys that's coming out running, trying to get to the quarterback. And so you got to worry about Jahai that's in his face, and then you don't even see, bam, you got Jalen Phillips coming from the side. It's so many different people that's going to be coming, man. And all I know is I'm excited. Let's just stay healthy. Let's enjoy the journey of it, and let's build something great again.
Yeah, ask Tom Brady about an Eagles edge rusher rushing from the inside. What kind of damage that can do.
Hey, that could do some real damage for sure in the wrong moment for him.
So there is such a great energy around this team. Like you're inside it now. You see it. Like, what does it mean from a player standpoint, especially a guy like yourself, a veteran, who when your front office is able to kind of pull these kinds of moves off?
You always hopeful, but when you do got somebody that's believing in us that bad, where we see the issues too and willing to address it and willing to spend a little to get. I mean, sometimes they ain't even got to spend as much because that was already gone. So that was 3rd round pick to be able to get a great guy like that and a great player, and then on top of that to be able to make some of these guys like Jair, who I feel still got it. And then I'm sure he heard about Michael Carter through Joe Douglas and was like, man, this is another up and coming player. And that's all you really looking for, a depth. We got depth now. Now we got people out there that's going to compete and then make the others that was here still compete and rise them to another level too. And man, you just get excited because you know that they trying to win a championship. And that's really what every year is all about. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, is to win. And when you got a moment in time like we have right now and the Eagles are going all out to do that, man, it does feel great as a player because, man, you put yourself in position to play in the postseason and then give yourself a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
And when you think about the bye week, right? It comes at a perfect time, right?
Except for poor Jalen Phillips, who doesn't get a bye week.
He don't get a bye week. He don't get a bye week at all. He was about to.
But you want to talk about winning the bye week, right? Packers lose, Lions lose, Washington loses, Dallas loses, the Giants lose. I mean, and you win the trade deadline. It was like the perfect bye week.
And then they say, "Oh, the Eagles #1 seed." Well, even though we ain't think about it, like but it is crazy,
right?
In this moment in time that all these guys lose, especially the Packers to Carolina. It was just like, ooh. But Carolina did a great job managing the game too, running the ball and making sure that they.
Your defensive front's pretty good. I think it's an underrated front.
It is because of some of the stuff that they've been going through and not being able to play as good a good offense as they would like. But yeah, man, they managed that game, and for them to lose that one, that was big.
Did you spend Sunday watching games?
I watched all of them. I mean, I watch Red Zone all the time,
yeah.
So I get to see it all. But man, it's always funny sitting on the couch sometimes on Sunday when you're used to playing.
Yeah, what was it different though this Sunday, knowing that? Hey man!
Oh, it's different.
You're back next week.
You're back, man.
We in it now. Yeah. We in it. So yeah, it did feel different watching it. Just that excitement of, man, I can't wait to get out there. I can't wait next week.
Yeah,
can't get here fast enough, but I am enjoying it. I'm trying to enjoy the journey because, man, as soon as that's what you do, you start anticipating. Man, when the next game, and then it's no game because you won the championship already and it's over. And then it's hopefully parade.
Oh, I just loved everything about the mindset, right? And I know people brought up AJ and traded. AJ wasn't going to get traded. Like, I mean, how he said it, like, there's no way in the world you're trying to win. You're not going to get rid of a great player.
We're not. And, you know, it's like they smart. They smart in both areas. Off the field, too, or where not even off the field, but just like, you know, you just paid them. You know, you got a high tax bill if you do want to do some stuff, but I doubt it that the whole time because it just wasn't smart business on top of, you know, I'm trying to win. So yeah, I got to show the team that I'm trying to win by keeping your good players.
And you know better than anybody. AJ's a thoughtful dude. Like he is. I love the dude. I think the kid is thoughtful, and I know his heart's in the right place.
Yeah, man. And that's where, you know what, I just say some people is misunderstood, and it's just based off what you see on TV. And so you got to make sure that, you know, people that know him, and people can understand the situation, both sides of it, because I do want him to get it because, man, he work his butt off every week.
Right.
And sometimes it don't always go as our plans on how we want to go about things in life, period. So you got to adjust. And so it's two sides to it where you got to give and take with it because some stuff you ain't going to get it perfect every time. And man, when you got an opportunity like we do, it's like, man, just stay hopeful, stay prayed up, and stay focused on what's the task, and that's winning, and that's trying to win a championship together. Because when we win, we all win. Everybody. You can walk around Philly from Jake Elliott to, even though Jake been here already, so he might be a little higher than some of the new guys.
Let's go Donnell Ellerby.
Yeah, Ellerby. He's still living off that 2017. He come in, oh man, let me see that ring, all that. Yeah. Oh yeah, we paying for your meal today. You know, all that. So all these guys that came into it, I mean, we got to know that when we all win, which is the ultimate thing, the Super Bowl, it's just not winning for just the top guys. It's winning for everybody.
And if you are Howie Roseman and you've been doing this as long as he has, you recognize that these opportunities do not come along every year, right? And so when you have a chance, it is worth pushing the chips in, especially when you have extra draft equity. Like you've got 3 third-round picks. Of course you're going to do it.
That's what's brilliant about how you set up your future, right? How you set up your team.
Yeah.
Because he knew, right? Like the minute you lose Sweat, right? Like you know that you're going to be thin on the edge. Like you get it, right?
You lose
right?
You lose Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
Right, well,
That's it. Right.
You retire, right? And,
Yep.
and in his mind, he's going, all right, like I know I need to cut salary, right? So I get it. But what I'll do is come the deadline, we'll see what we're looking at, right? We have a lot of draft capital in the coffers.
Yeah.
We can make some maneuvers, right? He knew that he had you with a phone call, right? Like, hey man, just stay in shape. Like, just,
stay working.
You never know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So in the back of your mind, you're going, I feel it, right? Like we talked about this. And then all of a sudden you can go get a Jalen Phillips. And now all of a sudden you're not thin. Now all of a sudden you look at the roster and Vic has his tools.
And that's where the magic happens with Howie, man, and how it was thought out, like you said, and they really did their homework. And so this is everything that you see happening right in front of you, like just coming together. And man, he a wizard for sure.
And you also now don't have to ask.
Yeah,
Howie Potter is good.
Yeah,
Potter's good.
I like it.
You also now don't have to ask too much of Nolan, right? As he's coming back off of injury, you don't have to overextend him, right? There's not too much pressure on him. The whole room now just feels so much different.
And that's where that's how you gotta look at it. Because when you bring a new guy in, because as a young guy for me, I used to be like, oh man, they trying to get rid of me, man. They don't believe in me because they got to bring this other guy in. But no, sometimes that other guy is great to have because now they not as focused on you, and now ain't as much pressure, on you. And then now you could be yourself because maybe you might have been uptight early in the beginning because you got so much pressure to go out there and be something that you know you can be, but it takes a little time. And now that just bought you a little time while learning from a new guy.
That's exactly right.
Would you say that to Jalix? Like, so Jalix Hunt, like honestly, Phillips is the perfect guy for Jalix Hunt to work off a body type.
For sure.
You know,
look the same and I mean quick.
Yeah,
off the rock. And that's what I'm saying. You don't realize until you look back on like, man, I'm so happy it came because I learned this, I learned that. And if you're willing to learn, because sometimes you had them regrets of why I was acting like that or why I was this. Because the young person,
human nature,
ego will hit you and think that, man, why they got to go do this? I'm here and all this. And it's like, nah, because you want other iron around you so we can sharpen each other.
Yeah.
And so some stuff that you really good at, he might not be really good at, but some stuff he's really great at, you might not be really good at. And then y'all bounce ideas off each other. And then we play to each other's strength and weaknesses. We know the weaknesses and we willing to live with it if stuff do come up when that stuff happened. But that just took maturity because I wasn't always there, but I always try to push that to let them know, like, man, my experience, this is what I've done. You sound similar to it's like, nah, don't focus on that, man. This guy, welcome him here. We need him because when we winning and you say you get 2 sacks, but then he get the strip sack of the game to win it, you ain't worried about his 2 sacks, the 2 sacks that you got. You happy that you got them, but you hyped that we won the game.
Right.
And he was the guy that helped us get over the top. And it's enough plays out there for everybody, man. And it's really about your leadership. And that's why I'm happy to be back because I just want people to win that part of it because we got a bunch of players, but it's how we all view when things happen, when moves happen, because everybody's not going to be happy when moves is happening because sometimes it affects them.
Right.
But you don't know until you look back on how much it helped you until, because maybe, like for me, it's your attitude that you got to have right in that for it to help you later where you like, man, I'm so happy I made that choice to be right, not complain, not pout about nothing because look how this happened.
Well, there's a minor little thing here which plays into that, which is that Nolan and Jalen Phillips and BG, most of them usually on the left side, right? Whereas Jalen is on the right side. So it's going to be curious to see how that all plays out. Who's going to move over to the right side? I'm sure it'll be a little bit of everybody, but that's a little
the selfless me.
You got to be selfless.
You got to be selfless, man.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be the first to be selfless. Hey, I'll go over there. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool. Yeah. I want you to be at your best. And I feel like reps with this, even with this, I'm trying to be at my best as I continue to keep getting comfortable having reps. And I got to get uncomfortable on that right side a little bit to get comfortable.
Yeah.
And so if it's all about who willing to keep growing, man, because that's all it is. You got to continue to keep growing. You can't always live in your comfort.
That's it. And here's the thing: behind you in the secondary, I look at it. You got so much versatility now. Like you give Vic versatility because he's the truth.
He is the truth, man. He is the truth of putting people in position.
So the fact, like you can go big nickel, right? You can go dime. There's a lot, and having Coop, you could do so many things with him.
Yep.
So it'll be great for matchups, right? Like, so if you got Green Bay on Monday night and then Detroit on Sunday night, who provide different challenges, right? You can match up.
You can match up, and that's why it's gonna be interesting to see how everything unfolds, man. Looking forward to leading the pack in our room and just going out there and just supporting the guys, man. Can't wait to party with them.
Leading the pack to beat the pack.
Right, to beat the pack. I like it. I like
that, Mo.
Yeah,
Why not?
I like that a lot. That's very good.
Pick that one up.
Well, I love the vibes coming out. Like you feel it. It feels like. I was talking to Dom and like there was an energy, like a real good energy around you guys.
It is. And I want people to keep that same energy they had before. Keep talking about Jalen Hurts, keep talking about what he can't do and all these and with the Eagles, because it's all good motivation for us. And like you say, it's all good energy, trying to keep the noise down from all the stuff that's tried, all the forces that's against us. And then we just go out there and we play on Sundays and may the best team win that's more prepared. And of course, we go out there and make plays together.
Well, what was great too is that the rest of the league's like, oh, not the Eagles again.
Yeah, like how they do it. Now they want to cry about because our GM is good, man. Go get y'all a GM. Go find that guy for your organization.
And go get you an owner.
Yeah,
who allows the GM to be like that, right? And who's willing to invest? Yes, exactly.
Who's
right.
invested?
Yeah,
Instead
and
of
who wants to win, because not every
looking
owner wants to win.
I mean, because I understand the gas and all that stuff is gonna be out there for you, the outside stuff from the football, but you got to make sure your team is good, and a lot of owners ain't doing that, and so that's why I was just threw a shout out there to because what he say he worried about the gas and all the other stuff, the oil and all
That's
that.
right. That's right.
It's like, man, that ain't headed in the right direction if you really running the team. And Mr. Lurie does a great job. And I'm sorry, y'all got to get y'all.
Because what we were laughing about
notes.
Earlier was, imagine being Joe Douglas yesterday. And
you got parole, Joe.
Oh my
man.
God! Like, you're trading Sauce. Oh, you traded Queen too. Let my guys. Like, it's
My
like
guys.
I sold you my house and you're tearing it down. Like, oh.
I'm like,
if you're Joe, you're
What a
like,
weird day.
I got parole, man. I'm free.
yeah, oh yeah, he free for sure too. Because you're right. Like, but they did let go of all his guys. I mean, they might have not believed in them as much, but then but they got some capital back. So hey, sometimes it's tough sometimes, because when you sell your house, you definitely don't want it to look no different than what you grew up in. But hey, it's their house now. I ain't got no more control over it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Did you when you let's look at the Packers for a second, because it's interesting, boys. When you look at Green Bay, I mean, they're good, right? Like, I mean, I think Love is really good. Like when he's hot, like, complete 18 in a row, 20 and 21. Like, you see it. He's got a lot of weapons, but they play up and down. And the one thing about you guys is that you don't play up or down that hot. Like, listen, there are games when, you're going to struggle. It is what it is. But you protect the ball. The little things that you don't play down like Green Bay has done this year.
Yeah, and that's where you got to get consistent. That's a team thing. Stuff happens. People make different plays at different times, or don't make plays at different times, because that's how it be. It's like, man, you need to have consistent. You got to be consistent, and sometimes it ain't always easy to manage that, because it's all about your focus on your teammates, then focus with your coaches. Sometimes it's the play calling on what was called at a time that coach might have been not so happy to call in a time and that got us beat or whatever. It's so many different things that you got to manage, but as long as y'all managing it together and owning whatever it is that you do in these moments, because when stuff bad, everybody don't want to put their hands on it, but it's okay. Like, we messed up here. Like, let's learn from this. Like, because when the playoffs come, we can't be having this. So we got to clean up some stuff because people going to attack us until we clean it up.
Well, it was funny. You know what illustrates that? I'm watching the Chiefs on Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had so Bills play a perfect game, right?
Yep.
Bosa's getting the Mahomes. They're able to run the ball with Cook on them.
Yep.
It's still Mahomes has he's one throw away from tying the game, right?
Yes.
But it was interesting. Like,
And I thought he almost the play
right?
before, boy. I thought they were about to catch that.
I know.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy.
But I'm looking at Andy and knowing him, like, you go, he's already going. His mind's already past this.
Mm-hmm.
This was really a learning thing, and it's like, all right, regular season obviously don't matters, but you're putting stuff away for January.
Yeah, for January, and you trying to make sure that, all right, this is something that came up. It keep showing up. Let's make sure we addressing this because this was gonna get us beat if we, this is what got us beat today. And that's what you do. And man, that's where the experience comes in. And that's where I'm at. We got some good people around us.
I almost think like especially the next two games, Green Bay and Detroit, obviously the games matter, but a lot of it is for January because you may see one or both of them.
Pressure testing yourself, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see where our weaknesses are.
Let's see where we at. And that's exactly where we're going to see. And you can't just be blinded if you go out there and had a best game because, remember how we got blew out by the Saints in the beginning of 2018?
Yeah.
And then we got to the playoffs and then we checked it. We checked it, but we didn't make the plays at the end, but it was a nail biter instead of a blowout like what they thought it was going to be because of what happened.
Yes.
But yeah, man, it's really how y'all manage what y'all need to get fixed because people will attack that.
How big a loss is Tucker Kraft for them? Because
that's
obviously right
that's
pass
big.
game, but
That's
also in the run game, he's a good blocker with Jacobs, and that's a good run game they have.
It is a good run game they have, and then with him, he was so savvy. You think he block you sometimes, and then he hit you right up the seam. And it sucked for Tucker Kraft because he was having a Pro Bowl year and
best tight end in football, probably.
Yeah. And I had him on my fantasy too.
Oh, dang, you got it.
So I got to find out. I'm like, dang, but he wasn't gonna be played this week. I wasn't gonna play him this week.
Yeah.
And I felt like I'll never that's one thing when I'm playing. I'll never
to the bench.
To the bench. To the bench he go.
And
it sucked when somebody go out there and ball and they be like, dang. But I can't do it though. It's just because,
Nah.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Nah.
You can't do it.
All right, listen. BG Unblocked. All right. Tomorrow, it airs tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, 8 a.m.
8 a.m. Tune in.
Whoa.
So go right from Unblocked.
Awesome, man.
Good.
It's going to be some great stuff. We love BG Unblocked because we love our man. All right.
Yep.
You are the heart and soul PHLY. Thank you, my brother. Good luck Monday night.
Let's go.
What's the rest of your week look like?
Well, we got I got to go in. I'm going to go work out in probably 20 minutes. And then after that, man, I'm making sure that tomorrow come with it because it's the start of the week.
There it is, baby. There it is.
Yep.
Good luck, brother. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, cuz.
All right. Thank you, Bo. Brought to us by Xfinity. All right. Coming up, we're going to talk a little Fly Guys. All right. Coming up, we're going to talk a little Sixers. We got our boy Mike Sielski. We got a whole bunch of stuff, man, ready to go. But we love our BG Unblocked. It's BG's Breakdown, brought to us by Xfinity. And a lot of good stuff, man. I just love where they're at right now after the deadline. And you could see the good vibes coming from that team. And it happens when your GM, your coaching staff, right? Everybody's on the same page. And that's the difference between Philadelphia and Dallas. All right. We say VG. How are you, buddy?
Good. It's good to be back.
Yeah, man. Yeah. VG's in timeout. VG's. No. Every week, BG Unblocked with Bo Wolf, who does such a great job on that show. All right. So coming up, we're going to talk to Charlie, right? Yeah. We got after that, a little Sielski.
Down game, man, last night.
Well, almost like the Sixers, right?
It's like,
I made you up at 3-0.
They looked amazing that first period.
The break.
2 shots they held them to.
Yeah.
I was like, Canadians got 2 shots. Next 3 shots were like 3 out of 4 shots were goals.
I know.
That's me.
All right. Do we have Charlie? We're waiting for Charlie. All right. We'll get Charlie up coming shortly. We're going to talk to Mike Sielski like we always do. And then we're going to talk to Devon about the Sixers. I made the point where I understand, and everybody's freaking out.
Come on, Nick Nurse. We need that one.
Get
him off the court when you see that happening.
Here's the problem. He's got to play through that.
Yeah,
like the problem, it's not about listen, I hate saying about these games, they don't matter. But the truth is, all that really matters in this league anymore is the playoffs, especially for this team. And he's got to get integrated. Like he's got to work his way into a role. And it's not going to be pretty at times. Like last night was not pretty. I saw the same thing you guys did, right? Turnovers, a bad shot, the whole thing. But sometimes you got to sacrifice a game.
I don't. Now you need it, man. It's early on the season. People are excited. They want to beat a 5-1 team.
But
and you see it's not happening. Giving him that extra 2 minutes, not going to change anything. It's not going to change anything. He's stoned. Get him out.
Long-term plan. I know. Listen, I hate to say, because we are such a now I want more. I had that. And I get it. Like we live, but you're not winning a title in November.
No, but I don't understand giving him 2 extra minutes last night is going to change anything down the road. And once you, see,
by the way,
it's not happening.
You win if he wasn't in the game either. The problem was Maxey had tired legs. Like they didn't score the last 5.5 minutes of the game, and Maxey missed 5 shots. And I'm all about I want Maxey to shoot the ball, right?
Yeah.
So I'm all about that.
It just felt like they were just going a 2-man game, Maxey and Embiid, and it's not working. Get them out, get some energy in there, and open up the floor a little bit, space it up.
And believe me, I understand where everybody's coming
we
from.
both understand each other.
Right? Like, I really do. But it's the difference between, I want to eat this. I want it now. I want now. I want to win. I get it. But sometimes
I almost feel like you need to
figure this thing out.
But I can say you're doing, I want it now. With Embiid, it's like, no, just slowly increase a minute by.
No, you can't, because what this is you got to go through these steps to get integrated. Fail, not fail. You have to go through all these steps. Like he's got to be on the floor.
See, I think he was just spent. He had no legs. I mean, him and Maxey.
Well, that's how you build legs for the spring. You build legs now.
I know, but 2 extra minutes isn't going to build those legs.
I'm not that the 2 minutes we're going to win, we're going to make the difference. Like you don't know that. You can't say it. Like I
just want a shot. It just felt like that no shot.
Of course they lost by a point. At the game, they had a chance to win the game. Grimes had a look.
He did have a look, but it just
you want a chance. You had a chance. That's what it was. And believe me, I'm not arguing with you or the chat, because I got frustrated in the moment too. But I'm trying to keep big picture.
I know. You were trying to talk me off the ledge last night.
I was trying to keep big picture in my back of my mind. And Pat, our man, who will be the editor, who will be on tomorrow, was freaking out last night.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I go, we got to relax. I'm like, I get it. Oh, bleep that, he went.
Yeah, I agree.
And he never curses. Bleep that.
I agree. And I'm not taking shots at Embiid. This is not on Embiid. This was Nick Nurse last night. Embiid's going to struggle for a bit. We get it, but
you got to get to the point where he can be a role. He has a role carved out, and that role is block shots, rebound. Give nobody rebound. You got to rebound. You got to block shots. And on the offensive side, not be a complete drain of the offense when the ball goes your way. Keep the ball moving, but be able to draw some fouls and knock down some shots. When he's got legs, he can knock down shots.
He was awesome in the first half.
Right. Like you see that.
He's running through him. He's passing. That was perfect.
Like that. When you see that, like that just needs to translate into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he's just not ready for the fourth.
Right?
Yet.
Like so at that, but you work your way through it to get there.
Yeah. Too soon. He needs to sit in the
all right. Stop. I don't want to do the last word thing. All right.
I'm not doing the last word.
You're regurgitating everything you just said. Like, yes, you are. I agree with you. Like, I agree with you in the chat. Like, I get it. I know. You want, look at you. Now he's like,
no, I'm just being quiet so you can have the last word.
I don't want the last word. I'm just trying to.
You got it.
Yeah, whatever, dude. Oh, my God. I can't.
Zegras.
We're
shootout savior.
That was.
He's so money in the shootout.
Dude, what's his percentage?
Like 68%, 70%. He was 64% when the week started. So he's got to be up there 67, 68%. I don't know.
Crazy, man. Like would you have your like this going on back and forth last night? Or are you at the bar?
I was at the bar.
Oh, so you did. So I couldn't tell. I
went
had
out.
basketball last night. I had football. I went from football practice to basketball tryouts. And that lasted until 9:30.
Are you coaching tryouts or just watching the tryouts?
I'm helping out. I'm not the head coach, but I'm gonna for the varsity now.
Oh, moved up.
Moss moved up to 7th grade.
It did.
So I'm gonna help out.
All right.
Danny, Coach
You have to take a test or anything? Or they know your pedigree? They're like, all right, he's cool.
I got my championship from last year, baby.
Love it.
I got my ring. All right. I got my championship ring.
Love it.
That's my resume right here. I won it last year. I brought it up last year.
I'm sure you did.
I brought it up. Hey, well, half these kids are my kids that we won the title
we got the chip last year.
And we were in the Camden County League, which is the better league. All right, let's go to our man from the All PHLY Flyers show. We love him. Charlie O, the great Charlie O'Connor on the Xfinity mobile call-in line. It started out with such great promise last night, right? You get out to the early league. Bobby Brink, the guys are flying,
getting some shots,
right? And then what happened?
Well, then the second period happened, and they threw it all away. But they did eventually come back, tie the game in the third period, and win in a shootout. So overall, really entertaining game. But that second period certainly had Flyers fans pulling their hair out, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
What was what do you think Tocchet's message was in between the second and third? What was that like in the room?
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously not not covering these games in person up in Montreal.
Knowing
Tocchet, yeah. But what I'm saying is that I obviously watched his post game interview that he did with the writers who are on the trip, and what he basically said to them was that he came out of the second period not feeling as frustrated and angry as you might think, because the Flyers, I believe they outshot the Canadiens. I think it was 17-9 in the second period. It wasn't like the Flyers stopped skating. It was just that Montreal, number one, is a ridiculously hot shooting team right now. They're just shooting the lights out. And so when they get their shots, they tend to finish on them. And number two, there were some things that broke against the Flyers. They got 2 power play goals, both on penalties that, quite frankly, didn't look to me like penalties. Travis Sanheim got one, and I think Bobby Brink got the other, if I remember correctly. And they were both very questionable calls. So I think Tocchet basically came out of that period being like, all right, guys, look, I know you're frustrated. You blew a 3-0 lead, but you really aren't playing that bad. Let's just go out in the third, play our game, and we'll tie it. And ultimately they did.
Yeah, and when you have a game like that where you have that kind of adversity and then you overcome it, I think that speaks volumes to a young team. Like, I think these are growing. We were talking about the Sixers and the Embiid situation. Like, these are all growing moments. And I think last night for the Flyers, that was a growing moment.
Yeah, and one thing too that I thought really spoke well for the team. Going back to this weekend, this was a bad weekend for the Flyers. They get swept, and Sunday's game is a loss to the Calgary Flames, team with the worst record in hockey right now. They finished with 18 shots. It was just a debacle. And Rick Tocchet comes up to the podium after the game and kind of calls out his team. Basically says, like, we're not playing a hard enough game. I need more from my leaders. We need to just play a more net focused game, get more shots on net. This is 12 games into his first year as head coach, and he's calling out his team. That's a bold decision by a coach. And if the Flyers had not responded well, it makes you wonder, is Tocchet's message getting through to these guys, even in the early stages? Instead, the Flyers not only win the game, but they legitimately change their process. 42 shots on goal, such a dramatic change from what we've seen so far this year. These guys responded to what Tocchet was telling them. The leaders were the guys who stepped up. You had Sean Couturier make a really good play as the captain of the team, make a really good play on the first goal, doing exactly what Tocchet wants the leaders to do. Wins a puck race, and Couturier is not exactly the fastest guy. Wins a puck race, wins a puck battle, then goes right to the net, sets a screen for Bobby Brink to get his redirection goal. This was an example of a young team. Now, granted, they have some vets. They have guys like Couturier and Konechny and Sanheim, but this is a young team that responded the right way to their coach challenging them this early in his tenure. I thought that was a really positive sign.
Charlie, real quick, I'm sorry. I just want to get this in there. Tippett, 6 shots last night. Konechny, 5 shots last night. Zegras, 5 shots last night. Dvorak and Cates, 4 shots apiece, right? Nick Seeler had 4 shots. I like that's the kind of hockey that you need to play where you're playing volume. Like that's the thing. And kind of what I expected. I expected to see a little bit more of that earlier in the year.
Yeah, it's interesting because Rick Tocchet, while you might think of him as a more of a traditional hockey guy, his teams historically haven't taken a ton of shots. Now, this is low for him. Like what the Flyers have been doing in the beginning of the year, this is low for even Tocchet's teams. But they've generally speaking been in like the bottom third of the league in terms of shots on goal per game. They're more of a quality team. Tocchet's more focused on like, hey, just don't shoot from everywhere. Wait till we get the puck in a good place and then shoot. Well, I think maybe Tocchet, at least for now, maybe he'll adjust as the year goes on, as the team gets more comfortable with the system. But at least for now, I think he's like, all right, guys, you got to just shoot. Because
let it go.
You have taken this way too far. This is not what I want you doing. Just shoot the puck and we'll work on quality later. And as I said, to the Flyers players' credit, they did a good job of responding.
Yeah, I was just going to say, with Tocchet calling them out, it felt like a different call out, though, than the Torts call out. Torts is just so abrasive. Tocchet was kind of polite with like, hey, I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, but we got some guys who aren't really skating. They got no will, and we just got to do better. It was the way he approached it, I think, which just generated a better, more productive response from the team rather than being angry and irritated.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, VJ. And I think the difference is it's just in their coaching approach. Like when Torts would call out his team, it seemed like he wanted the players to respond in spite of him. Like just kind of like, let's prove this jerk wrong.
Yes.
Whereas with Tocchet, it seems a little bit more like there's mutual respect between him and his players. And it's, man, if Rick is angry, then we're really screwing up. We got to go out there and do better. And I think it's just the difference in the way that the two men interacted with and dealt with their team.
100%. It's just that nuance there. I was looking at because they do get a lot of penalties, but then I looked this morning. They're by far more penalized than any other team in hockey. Is that just the style of their play?
I don't think so. And I will defend them on this particular night. There were quite a few penalties, as I said, that I thought were frankly BS. They just were, because that's what happens when you play in Montreal. That Bell Center crowd's booing at every turn whenever they're like a stick even touches one of their players. And I think a lot of officiating crews get intimidated, and I think that may have been what happened in this one, especially in the second period, because the Flyers get a 2-man advantage in the first, and then from that point on, the crowd just decided, oh, the refs are against us. We're going to try to work the crowd, and I think it worked. But I do believe the Flyers, at least in the beginning of the year, I don't necessarily think this game was an example, but there were certainly games over the last few weeks that were an example. They've just been a little bit too cavalier with their sticks, taking too many stick penalties, and probably that just has to do with the fact that they're learning a new system. When you're learning a new system, you're a little bit out of position because you're not quite where you have to be as quickly as you would be if it was second nature. And what do you do when you're a little bit out of position? You hook, you grab, you clutch, and then you get called for penalties. Right. So I think that's part of it. Also, and this is an important thing, we were just talking about pure penalty minutes, look, the Flyers have some guys who drop the gloves, and a lot of teams don't have those guys anymore, and that does serve to increase your penalty minutes. Like there was that one game where you had 4 Flyers players get 10-minute misconducts at the end of overtime. Like the Flyers are just naturally going to get more penalty minutes than most teams because they still believe in having some grit and having some fighting ability. But I do agree with you, VG, that there's been an issue in the early season with regards to being out of position and taking penalties as a result, and it's something that's got to be resolved.
I'll tell you one thing though, I could watch Zegras all day long. I mean, you can't take your eyes off him.
Well, yeah, that behind the back spinorama pass to Cam York last night. I mean, that was a fine bit of hockey. I'll tell you, this guy is for real, and I like the fact that he's a guy where there have been a lot of people in the hockey world, a lot of like traditionalist types who don't like him, who feel like, he's too flashy. He cares more, as Tocchet put it a couple days ago, he cares more about getting on social media than he does about helping the team win games. Look, Rick Tocchet he's a tough guy. He's a guy who scored a ton of points in the NHL, and he did it in a tough way. And I love the fact that Zegras is winning him over. Because if he can win Rick Tocchet over, that's not only going to gain him clout in that room, it's also going to gain him clout around the NHL, because it's like, well, like Rick Tocchet, he doesn't BS. He's a guy where, if he likes a guy, he must be a real hockey player. And Zegras is winning over Tocchet. Tocchet seems to love the guy, and how can you not love him with the kind of production he's putting up?
Oh, man, you're right on. Right on.
Hey, Charlie, can I ask you about, because the power play has been abysmal the last few years towards the bottom 3 or 4 teams. They're middle of the pack right now. Is it just a skill and talent change, or are you seeing something like strategy-wise?
I mean, there are some strategy changes, to be sure. They're moving the puck better. But honestly, the big thing that's helped the power play so far this year, it's not even the guys you would assume. I mean, Zegras definitely, but Michkov hasn't done much on the power play. Konechny hasn't done much on the power play. The first unit, which last year I generally thought any unit with Michkov on it as the first unit, has not been what's been driving their success. It's been that line with, and I know Tyson Forrester's out with injury right now, so he's not on it, but it's been that line with Noah Cates, Bobby Brink, and Tyson Forrester. They formed the core of the second unit, and recently they've added Zegras to that unit, and that's only helped it hum even more. That's been what's driving their success, and a lot of it, honestly, look, some of it is skill. Obviously, when you have a guy like Zegras who can do a behind-the-back spinorama pass, that's going to help. But a lot of it is just hard work. Like, I've really liked, in particular, the work of Noah Cates on the power play. And he's not a high skill guy. He'll be the first one to tell you that. He's not a Trevor Zegras type. But what he's doing and what they weren't doing over the last few years, he's winning battles. He's keeping pucks alive. He's blocking clear attempts. And that's just giving the Flyers more and more time in the zone to create. And then you add in the fact that line, that Cates, Brink, Forrester line, it already has pre-existing chemistry from 5-on-5 because of how good they've been at 5-on-5. So they just have an understanding, an intuitive understanding of where each other are on the ice at all times. And I think that's helping the power play as well. Now, the real fun thing is once Michkov and Konechny really get going, then you're cooking with gas. Then you might have 2 power play units that are good, and suddenly you might actually have a good power play rather than a middle-of-the-road one. But look, after the power play we've been watching for the last 3, 4, or 5 years, I'll take middle-of-the-road any day of the week.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Child, great stuff. What's on tap today for you?
We got our show at 4 p.m. First time for a normal show in the studio, so check that out, the PHLY Flyers show at 4 p.m., breaking down this crazy team.
Back at it tomorrow night against Nashville. So that's your schedule. Then I guess Ottawa Saturday, and then next week I can't wait for it. I'm this is a game I'm going to Edmonton next Wednesday.
Ooh,
a week from
Wednesday.
today. Yeah.
Connor McDavid comes to Philly.
McJesus.
So that's always a fun game, and they've been using Noah Cates to shut McDavid down for the last couple of years, and he's done a pretty good job. So that'll be a tough test for Noah.
Yeah, sounds good. Hey, Chow, great stuff, brother. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Here he is, Charlie O. 4 o'clock today, all PHLY Flyers show with Bill. Don't forget all of our guests on the Xfinity mobile call-in line.
You know who's cooking?
Who's cooking?
Gauthier.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. I saw that.
You got 12 goals?
Yeah.
10 games or 10 games,
Well,
10 goals
the
in 12
Ducks,
games.
like they're good.
Yeah.
Like they're young, but they got a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Like,
And they gave away Zegras.
That line is good.
Yeah.
That line that, Snedeker, like they're good. It's a good team. A good line. All right, let's take care of some business. And then our man, Mike Sielski. Can't wait to talk to Mike after what there's such good vibes around this football team.
Yeah.
I mean, there really is such good vibes. Like, you heard BG talking about it, but just the way they do things compared to the Cowboys, right? Like, the Cowboys have to go and spend, like, again, Quinn Williams is a really good player.
He's a really good player. He's not what he was 2 years ago, and he's trending. His stats are trending down.
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, I don't look at stats. I'm not going to look at a defensive tackle with stats. I mean, he's on a bad team, and I think he's a very good player. Really, really good. I just think they you had Micah.
Yeah, who's
who you had just had to pay and to figure out how to pay it.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's the Eagles, the way they do business, right? The way everything works, everything's smart. Like, you're not mortgaging futures like with cap space or capital, draft capital. There's a plan.
There's no reek of desperation at all.
Right. Like that Jerry, it was
off his rocker.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take care of some business. Talk a little bit about Elkins.
Yeah, why not? If you're looking for a Chevy, well, Elkins Chevy's got you, because you know who's playing championship level car deals every single day? Our friends over at Elkins Chevrolet, right off Route 73 in 73 South in Marlton, New Jersey. And what they got going on over there, they're a three-man team. Jason, Adam, Josh, all brothers. They're in the store every day. They're calling the plays, delivering wins. No fumbles, no drama. Just a hometown squad with a deep bench of Chevys and prices that'll make you cheer. They call it honking good service, and trust me, total slam dunk with these guys. So if you're scouting for a new Chevy or pre-owned MVP, make your next move Elkins Chevrolet. Real brothers, real deals, and a whole lot of honking good service. Shop now at elkinschevrolet.com, and together, let's drive Elkins Chevrolet.
There it is. There it is. All right, let's talk about Parks and the Bet Parks Sportsbook online casino app. Sixers, another game tonight, Cleveland. Where do we stand, VG?
Let me see. It was 9 earlier. We're at 9.5. We're getting 9.5.
I know. That's pretty high, yeah, no?
Yeah, it seems high.
Doesn't it seem a little high to me?
Yeah, I guess back-to-back night. No Embiid.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
Eagles are 2.5.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave out another one yesterday. So Trash Man's 5-0 right now. And I got one I like tonight. We're staying local. We're going LaSalle. LaSalle minus 15.5 versus Coppin State.
Wow.
Explores the night big.
Wow.
See if the streak continues.
You were on fire.
Wichita smoked them last
I
night.
have to say, you and Boo are the greatest, and Scotty Bones are the greatest college basketball pickers I know.
Oh, yeah? Well, yes. I appreciate that.
All right?
I mean, sooner or later it evens out.
Of Scott, the Boo Man, and you are the greatest college basketball pickers out there.
I appreciate it. That's good company. That's good company.
I think you guys are better than the Brain. Like, the Brain's amazing at handicapping, but you're at college basketball.
Let's talk to Boo. Maybe we'll get one of those 1-800 lines. We'll be on the radio on Saturday mornings. 1-800, this is the game of the year. Game of the year. I haven't seen a game I like this much. Oh, it's since last week. Give me $50. If you lose, you get the next 10 picks for free.
Hey, don't forget tomorrow night, 6 o'clock at the Bet Parks Sportsbook inside Parks Casino. Talk Birds at the halfway point of the season. A free event hosted by Bet Parks, the Axeman, Jeremiah Trotter, 6-time All-Pro Mike Quick, Seth Joyner, D. Gunn, all presented by the Bet Parks online casino and sportsbook app. You got to be 21. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Don't forget, Philly Football Roundtable live tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. The Bet Parks Sportsbook inside Parks Casino. Talk Birds football at the halfway point of the season. A free event. The Axeman's my boy.
Nice.
You got to be 21. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Now joining us from the Inquirer. We love him. What a great voice. My main man. The one, the only, Mike Sielski on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line. What is it, my brother? Good morning.
Are we talking off-the-year elections today, Cuz, or are we talking Eagles?
So, what we saw from the deadline is why Howie is where he is and what he get and all those accolades, because there's a plan, right? You go and say, all right, I'm going to get the best edge rusher who moved was Phillips, right? Because Garrett didn't move and Chubb didn't move. So he was the best edge rusher. You gave him a 3rd-round pick, which was your own. You were able to keep the Jets pick, and you're going to go get a compensatory pick next year. So, Mike, like, that's a plan, whereas the Cowboys getting Quinnen Williams is a rash move where you overpaid.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys used the right words heading into the break. Lots of planning and lack of desperation. That's what makes Howie good at what he does. It's not just that the Eagles had to give up a 3rd-round pick for Phillips. They had multiple 3rd-round picks. It wasn't as if that was going to be a difficult decision for Howie to make. Because 3rd-round pick does have value, but because he had planned ahead and because they have multiple picks, okay, if that's what it takes, then we're insulated against that. And the planning part, I mean, Jerry's great. Jerry's fun to follow. Jerry admitted the other day that he does a lot of this just for attention. But in terms of building a competitive team from year to year, I don't understand how a franchise cannot sign and then trade away Micah Parsons and then trade for Quinnen Williams and think you're coming out of that better for it, especially when you have the 11th best record in a 16-team conference. Like, what are we talking about here? Either break it down and build it back up, or go all in by signing a better defensive player in Micah Parsons and trying actually to win. And he's trying to split the baby in half, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it doesn't. And it's funny, he couldn't wait to brag about it. He's got Stephen A, and he's bragging about it. And it's such a horrible way to run a team, right? Like, it's such an antiquated, like, that stuff that was done in the 80s and the 90s, like Buddy Ryan and Jimmy Johnson and all these things. Like, it was a passe. It's a passe way to run a team.
Yeah, it was passe too when he tried to play off the whole Micah situation as, well, I looked him in the eye and shook his hand. Like,
Right.
Sorry, that's not the NFL anymore.
No.
Like, you're collectively bargained from reaching an agreement that way. You can't do it. You have to talk to the guy's agent. And then, of course, you get the flip side of this, which is the Jets, who, yeah, I suppose you could say you love what they're doing for trying to rebuild, but they traded away Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner, both of whom were 1st-round draft picks, to get 1st-round draft picks who they are hoping will be as good as Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner. So, again, what are we talking about here? And it does make the Eagles stand out, and it does play into this thinking and attitude that I think a lot of us in Philadelphia, to a certain degree, are still grappling with, which is the Eagles really do go about things in a smarter way than most, if not all, NFL teams do. And those of us who grew up assuming the Eagles didn't know what they were doing or would mess it up in the end, that's something we're still trying to reconcile.
Right. That they're the gold standard is they are. They're the gold standard in the NFL. Like,
yeah,
it's
funny because, like, Jeff McCain, who I know you love and think the world of, and who I love and think the world of, wrote today about, okay, did Howie have to get an edge rusher because he had put more resources into linebacker? And totally fair point to make if you're just evaluating the Eagles. But relative to all the other teams in the NFL, that's not a huge problem. Like, it really isn't. We're evaluating them in that way based solely on whether they will win the Super Bowl or not. And we're evaluating all these other teams on whether they're going to reach a baseline of competence or not. And again, this is something that's unfamiliar to those of us who grew up, under watching the Eagles under Norman Brayman or being coached by Rich Kotite or Ray Rhodes. And it's hard for us to get accustomed to the fact and acknowledge the fact that relative to the rest of the NFL, the Eagles are doing a very good job of maintaining excellence.
Yeah.
We almost take it for granted at this point. It's not like the rest of the league is like we just expect it to happen.
Yeah, I do think that there is what to Mike's point, this is a foreign, like we're still trying to reconcile that the Eagles are this competent. Like that they're this competent because when you have grown up here, and even during like Howie 101, the previous Howie versions,
right?
Like there were mistakes. Like he's talked about his growth, the whole thing, and now everything is in lock. Like he's I don't want to say he's figured it out, but as much as you're going to figure out being a GM in this league, he's figured it out.
Yeah, and that leads us to the other thing, which was my big pet peeve, and I think it was yours too, guys, leading into the trade deadline, which was all this cynical or stupid discussion about whether the Eagles were going to trade A.J. Brown.
Thank you. Yes.
It was so dumb.
Yes.
It was so clickbaity and attention-seeking.
Yes.
Anybody
Ridiculous.
who was remotely familiar with the Eagles or Howie Roseman knew that they were not going to trade A.J. Brown. And talk shows nationally and locally built segments and entire shows around this idea. And it was never going to happen. As I wrote in my column today, like he could have stood at his locker holding a sign saying, "Throw me the ball," and they were not going to trade him. He could have read Tropic of Cancer on the sideline, and the Eagles could have sent Bookman the library cop from the Seinfeld episode out to arrest him, and they were not going to trade him. They were not going to trade him. And any discussion of it that was so stupid and so just, raising a discussion just to get people's attention and outrage, it just really ticked me off.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought the same thing. I thought it was just ridiculous. Utter nonsense. And it was clickbaity. And this whole idea that he's TO 2.0, it's just not accurate. It's not. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in the offseason. That's a different animal.
Right.
But, like, you're trying to win. Like what Howie said yesterday, which is, you don't get better by trading great players. Like, I mean, duh. And I never understood it. I never understood the whole idea of it. Now, I do like what they've done. And again, I don't know if Jair Alexander's completely cooked. Who knows? Maybe he is. I don't know that Michael Carter could be the answer, but here's what I like about they threw numbers at the cornerback at the CB2 spot, and they got versatility. Well, you got versatility up front, your front seven, because you have the Kobe Dean back and because you have Jihad Campbell that could do a bunch of different things, right? Now you got in the back end, if you want to go big nickel, if you want to have Cooper on the outside, like there's a million things that you can do. And if you give Fangio that sort of optionality, I think he'll make it work.
Yeah, there's definitely like a may the best man win kind of approach here that it seems like Fangio is going to take. And you're right. They have options now, and that's good. And Fangio really is, despite what he said the other day about him having a minuscule role in all of this, he has a huge role in this, not merely in who they, influencing who Howie may or may not have tried to get, but also in that the trust that he has within the organization and the stability that he offers. After the most recent Giants game, I talked to Brett Toth for a bit, and he told me this really cool anecdote. Cool, like if you're interested in learning about the insides of the Eagles, not so cool if you're an Eagles fan. But he said in 2023, after they demoted Sean Desai as the defensive coordinator and elevated Matt Patricia, the guys came in the locker room after that move was made, and Patricia had filled the whiteboard with all of these formations and numbers and all the schematics that he was going to try to teach to the defense with 4 or 5 weeks to go into the season. And then you had the Eagles at that time, at that deadline, doing things kind of similarly to what they did this time around. They got Kevin Byard. They're trying to kind of work new guys in. And it was just a total mess because the guys couldn't learn Patricia's scheme in that time. And even if they did learn it, it probably wouldn't have worked. And it was just a total fiasco. Well, you don't have to worry about that this time around. It's Vic Fangio's scheme. He's going to be making the calls about who plays and who doesn't. He knows what he wants. Most of the guys have already been here. So if it turns out that Keely Ringo is the best option at number 2, okay, like maybe he is the best option at number 2. Is it ideal? No, but at least you can feel better knowing that, like, hey, we brought in these other guys, and this is the best option we have is the guy we already had.
See, with the way I look at it a little differently, and what I like about it is I look at it is with matchups, right? Like, so I'm not looking at one guy to take different spot. I'm looking at, all right, the Lions present a different challenge than the Packers.
Sure, you're gonna need the Gene to play inside against the Lions because of Amon St. Brown and the run game. Totally get it.
Totally. That's exactly it. So I from that standpoint, I go, all right, I like the way I just like the way they're run. Like, I'll be honest with you, like, to bring it back full circle, the way they're run is just smart. Like, it makes football sense to me, right? Like, everybody's in on it. Christian Parker's in on it. Not just, you mentioned Vic being in on it. You're so right. He's got a huge role in the whole thing. Like, all these guys understand what they're about and bringing them in to integrate them. And now, we had BG on earlier. Like, there's a real vibe about them. Like, there's a good vibe that's coming out of that room now. Like, they're excited.
Yeah, and that sort of stuff matters. I think, more than people want to admit. I think we spend so much time nowadays in football coverage talking about schemes and what are they doing on film and what do the numbers tell us. And go back to 2023. The vibes were not good. The mood in that locker room was not good, even when they were 10-1. And then when they got killed by the 49ers and the Cowboys, it validated the sense you got in that locker room that things were not going the way that everybody thought they should be going. And it doesn't mean everything. It doesn't mean that they're going to come out and destroy the Packers at Lambeau and shut out the Lions and roll the rest of the way like they did last season. But for right now, they're looking pretty good. I mean, when you're talking about the two other best teams in the conference, one of them being the Rams, whose number the Eagles seem to have, and the other one being the Seahawks, who, for as good as they've looked, still have Sam Darnold as their quarterback. And I think it's fair to wonder whether he's got the stuff to take Seattle where it wants to go. You have to feel pretty good if you're the Eagles.
Yeah.
Feel great.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to the Sixers. All right. Because this is a fascinating conversation, right? Fascinating. Because the whole fan base has been energized, and rightly so, by this team. They have also I don't want to be nasty about it, but they're over Embiid, right? Like, they're just completely over him. I got Tasty Cake Dom, who's a huge Sixer fan, right? And he's like, I can't wait for Mike and Devon because they're going to crush Embiid. And I'm like, why do you want to crush Embiid? Like, think about it. If you're really going to be a contender in the East, Embiid's not going anywhere, all right?
Right.
You have no front court. You have no front court that you can actually count on to play in the playoffs. Like, when you're going AAU style now, hey, they're fun. It could, you can win some games, but that's not going to win in the spring. It's not. You need to get Embiid in a proper role for the playoffs to be a true contender. And that means going through some growing pains with him throughout the course of the season.
100%. 100%. Two things come to mind. Number one, to build on what you just said, whatever Embiid is doing now is probably not going to be what they will need him to do and what he might have to accept that he can and should do come the spring. Okay. I think I made this reference to you guys last week. To me, the ideal scenario would be him being Marc Gasol for this
Yes.
version of a Nick Nurse team.
Yes.
Protect the rim,
I love that.
rebound a little bit better. You don't have to play 35 minutes, but you have to play enough so that when the game slows down in the playoffs, you are helpful. You are a factor that can help this team win. You're probably not going to be the guy who the offense is centered around, at least not all the time, when the games really start to matter. And that brings me to point number 2, which is the way they're playing now that's got everybody so excited, the AAU reference that you made. There was I remember watching a panel discussion a couple of years ago where Bob Myers, who now obviously works for Harris Blitzer, was on talking about building the Golden State Warriors and the way the Warriors played when he was the GM and Steph and Clay and KD were in their prime. And he said, one of the things that you have to look at when you're scouting guys like that is, can they make shots in the postseason? Because the shots they're getting in the springtime are not the same shots they're going to get in November and December. The defender is going to close out on them more quickly and get his hand up higher. And
you defend possessions in the spring.
And the rim for certain guys gets a little smaller when the shot matters more later in the season. And we haven't seen anything yet from, as great as Edgecombe has been, and Jared McCain coming back and Quentin Grimes and all that. Maxi's shown us he can do it. But we haven't seen anything yet from those guys to say one way or another whether they're going to be able to make those shots and play that way once the playoffs roll around.
I know. And nobody wants to hear it. And nobody, and I get it.
I get that. I get that. Like it's the new fresh thing. It is, we have the Sixers have great young players and we are watching them and we love watching them play. And Maxey looks tremendous. And then you get a game like last night. It's like, okay, like sometimes these results happen and they don't mean anything. And sometimes they happen. It's like, hey, the way they play can lead to, building a 24-point lead and then losing it like they did last night.
It's amazing to me, right? Because they hate Embiid. Whereas I make the point about Oubre. Somehow Oubre on social media is following me around because I don't like his game, right? I think he's the quintessential AAU player, right? Ball goes in him, either he shoots or he's not going to pass it. He's going to shoot it. He's not good enough rebounder. Plays no defense. He's not tough, right? Like, but that's his game. Like, he'll
other than that, you love him though, right?
He'll score 16 on a given night in January or against the Nets, right? And people go, so people are willing to go to the mattresses for Oubre and destroy Embiid. And I go, it reminds me of the Chris Coast and we love these guys, these backup players and extrapolate. It's like, guys, like you're savvy enough to know that come playoff time, that's the difference between guys who scored for the Charlotte Hornets and guys that actually know how to play basketball.
Yeah, the consummate example of that to me is Edmundo Sosa.
Yes.
Right? Like the idea that if the Phillies played Edmundo Sosa every day and he got 500 to 600 at bats, he'd be the second coming of Alex Rodriguez or something. And,
right.
It's like Charlie Manuel used to say, some guys are just 350 to 400 at bat guys, and that's where they live and that's where they're going to be at their best. And Oubre is the equivalent of that. He's a 350 to 400 at bat guy in the NBA.
Yes. Know thyself. Go ahead, VG.
What do you want me to say?
The floor is yours.
Hey, on a game like last night, when you see it's not working, you take him out in the late. He doesn't need to be in there. It wasn't working the last 5 minutes of the game. You didn't have to have it out there for 5 minutes. 2 minutes left in the game. Sit and beat. Things are going well lately. He's been having fun. That goes into my thought pattern too. I don't want him dejected and hating himself because he had a terrible stretch of 5 minutes. You got to keep him going high and feeling good. And I just don't see 2 minutes last night. I know we're ramping him up. I'm not saying we don't need him. I don't hate Embiid. I like Embiid. But I just see with the energy, the way the team's rolling now, you had a better chance with him not on the court at the end of the game.
Yeah, and I understand that. And I understand that if you look at every single game as its own unique entity. But you're going to have to get him crunch time minutes at some point over the course of the season and see how it goes, not just for the sake of ramping him up, but from a strategic standpoint. To continue like the baseball analogy, this makes me think of an anecdote. If you guys watch the documentary on the MLB Network about Greg Maddux, there was this great anecdote that
About the home
Perez,
run?
about the home run,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Where he
Love
throws
it.
a down and in changeup to a guy when it's 5-1 Braves, right? And the guy hits a home run, and he tells Eddie Perez, like, the reason I threw him that pitch in that situation is that so I'll plant that seed in his mind so that when I face him in the playoffs later on, I'll be able to strike him out. And there is a little bit of that here with Embiid. It's not a perfect analogy, but it is a little bit of like,
Great
you gotta play him
analogy.
in these, you gotta play him in these situations to know, how do we play him? Can we play him? When do we use him? When do we not use him? How do we use him? And if the sacrifice is you lose a game like last night, maybe it pays dividends in the end.
Yeah, I just think we got a whole season to worry about that. We're only 6 games in. We could do that in a month. We could worry about it. Ramp him up, slowly ease him into that
Doesn't
position.
work that way because now you're going to have Paul George come back, and there's going to be a whole integration of Paul George and how all this thing fits together.
Yeah,
It's
there's going to be a lot of ramping for
it's
different guys.
It's a process.
I
hate to use
get
the
it.
word, but that's what it is.
But I was out last night watching a game at a public pub, and there was a kid
at a public pub,
yeah, I mean, there's private ones. It's one the general population get into. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, which speakeasy do you frequent there,
Right.
BG?
But there was a kid, he's like watching, and he said, man, I got to tell you, I haven't watched a Sixers game in like 3 years like I'm watching right now. This kid, he didn't even know Edgecomb's name. He's like, this kid, VJ, whatever. So there's that going on as well. You gotta read the room, man. They're
Read the
5-1.
room. You
Give us the win. Keep the momentum and energy going.
You got to build it correctly.
But now they're going on the back-to-back, and they go into the back-and-back game with this losing like last night. I don't know. Maybe that's why they're 9.5-point dogs tonight. Suddenly they're 5-3. Suddenly they're 5-3. They could have been 6-1.
Did you legitimately expect them
to win last
start
night?
The season 14-1?
No, but I expected them to win last
night.
Underdog
last night. They happened to. It's the NBA. You watch this stuff. Like, this is what the NBA is about.
Yeah,
especially in November.
Sure. Like, look, you're going to try things out. It's a wait and see. As Cuz said, process, and the more you're accumulating knowledge, yeah, of course you're trying to win games, but it's more about accumulating knowledge. You got to work McCain back into the lineup too. Where are you going to be able, and when are you going to be able to play him? Does Edgecombe start to tire out at all? These are all things we're going to find out during the course of the season, and you've got to put these guys, and Embiid's part of this too. You've got to put these guys in situations where you're learning about them and how do they handle it, and sometimes they're not going to handle it, and that's all part of it too.
And we saw last night with Maxey a lot of minutes, right? And and that's my man, and I want him taking those shots. Now the last 5.5 minutes he was 0 for 5 from the floor. Like, I want him to take the shots, so I'm not upset at it, but that also comes into play. That it wasn't just all Embiid. He had good looks, Maxey, and it just they didn't fall.
Right, and that tells you something, right? Like, do we have to scale back his minutes or think about it? Are his legs getting tired late in games by playing all these minutes? Again, it's all information gathering over the course of the season. That's okay. The fun will come, VG. It'll be fun. Don't worry.
And you got to take your enjoyment. Like, that was a fun basketball game last night.
It's not fun when you blow a 22-point lead or whatever.
Like, I get it, but it was in its entirety. If you look at it like, and here's the problem: I'm not looking at it like it's a football game, like an Eagles game.
Right.
I'm looking at it like it's an AAU game where you want to win, but I'm not throwing things when they lose.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same way we treat every Phillies game,
right?
Like it's a football game now. You can't do that. You just can't. You'll drive yourself crazy.
Yeah, and especially when they don't look at it like that. Like,
right? Of course not.
The league's not set up to be that.
No, it's 82 games. It's 162 games. It's not
17.
Load
management. It's all that stuff, right? Like,
yeah.
It's like when we're talking about baseball, and I know the ratings were incredible for the World Series, right? You're at a high. Now there's going to be a labor situation going on. And I really believe that they need to think dramatic. The best thing about baseball is October.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to elongate the playoffs, shorten the regular season, and elongate the playoffs. The NBA, the best thing about the NBA is the playoffs.
Yeah.
The basketball is at its best. You defend. The series are rugged. It's just great basketball. And baseball,
Yeah.
the best baseball is the same thing. You got to shorten the regular season and go deeper in the playoffs, elongate them.
Yeah, you're chasing you're chasing what the NFL has inherently, which is scarcity.
Yes.
And scarcity increases the stakes in each of these games. And the only way that leagues like Major League Baseball and the NBA can do that, as you said, Cuz, is by lengthening the playoffs and shortening the regular season. It's the only way, because the culture of it has changed. And to be, we've become, as a sports consuming public, we've become less forgiving for that. Like, there were games where back in the 80s and 90s, not every game was game 7 between the Knicks and the Bulls during the regular season, but now we see so much more. And you can tell when teams are kind of coasting. It's more apparent. And the culture is a little bit different. There are fewer guys who bring it every single night now than did back in the day. So how do you raise the stakes? You increase the postseason and you cut down on the regular season. Now there are
Hey,
going
real
to be
quick,
ramifications.
they did that. Now, both NBA, MLB, and even NHL did that by expanding their playoffs, right? Like when the regular season was, hey, you win, it's 2 divisions, you win your division, they win their division, and then the 2 play in the NLCS and in the ALCS, that's it. Like the regular season matters in a big way.
Exactly.
In the NBA, before 16 teams made the playoffs, regular season mattered. And when it was Sixers Celtics in the regular season, guys went at it. Like it was real. But they devalued it themselves.
Yeah, they did. But you're right. Like, if you're going to expand the playoffs that much by that many teams, like take Major League Baseball, right? You got the wild card round, which is best of 3. You've got the divisional round, which is best of 5. Elongate that. Like, if you're going to have that many teams, if you're going to have 7 teams from each league make the playoffs, then you can't have one potentially good team get bounced that quickly. You can't have the Phillies and the Dodgers playing in a best of 5 in the divisional round because the games are so good, but the series are so short that you're not getting a necessarily earned outcome from that. Like, everybody would have loved to have seen the Dodgers and Phillies go at it over a best of 7 series, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. What's new with Rock? Tap it away.
Finish the section on Burt Young. I
love Paulie. What a great character.
Yeah, great character. And Burt Young was kind of the cool thing about the movie. The cool thing about the casting that they did was that Talia Shire was basically Adrian growing up. She was shy. She lived in the shadow of her brothers, actually, not just Francis Ford Coppola, but her brother August, who was a college professor and eventually became a movie producer. Burt Young was Paulie. You know, he drank a little bit too much. He boxed. He was had this, checkered life, kind of was searching for what he wanted to do before he got into acting. They didn't have to stretch very far. And Carl Weathers was an NFL player. He played for the Raiders before he became an actor and eventually became Apollo Creed. So he was familiar with what it meant to be a standout athlete. So none of these actors and actresses who they cast for these very important roles had to stretch all that much to play these memorable characters. Stallone and the producers and John Avildsen, the director, absolutely nailed the casting of these characters, and it's part of what makes the movie great.
It's funny. I just saw on Instagram, they have auditions for like old movies. So they have The Godfather, and they have De Niro reading for Sonny. And it's so interesting when you see, the actor reads, because you're so used to like James Conner's Sonny, right? Like, and De Niro playing a young Vito. And it's so interesting when you see that stuff. And you're right. Where did they find Burt Young?
Burt Young had been in a movie the year before they started casting Rocky. He had been in a movie called The Gambler that
with James Caan.
With James Caan. James Caan plays a college professor who's a gambling addict, and Burt Young plays a loan shark's goon, basically. And James Caan, there's this one scene where James Caan accompanies Burt Young on a trip to a customer, as Burt Young calls it. And it's this terrifying scene in which Burt Young basically beats up this guy for not paying his gambling debts. And he's so matter of fact and casual about it that your blood is chilled from watching Burt Young. Well, the producers of The Gambler were Irwin Winkler and Bob Chardoff, who produced Rocky. So they knew that Burt was the absolute right guy to play Paulie. They needed a guy who could go from, knocking over the lamp with the baseball bat because he's pissed off that Adrian's happy and he isn't, and then go to like begging Rocky, to help him market himself, and just kind of pathetic but lovable and violent but good-hearted. Burt Young captured all of that, and he had done it in the movie before Rocky.
Wow, that's awesome. Because I think about, he was so good when he's got the flask and he like takes a sip of the flask and his lips are still wet, right? Like he's like skeevy, right? Like it's I always thought that character, you could smell the wild turkey on his breath.
Burt Young actually rubbed vermouth on his neck and clothes when he was playing Paulie, so that he would feel like he was half in the bag all the time.
Brilliant.
I was like,
that's a great nugget.
He studied with Lee Strasberg at the actor studio.
Yes,
that's amazing.
Yes. Yeah, he tried to pick up a barmaid while he was still married, and he said to the barmaid, why aren't you an actress? And she says, I've always wanted to be an actress. I've wanted to study with this guy Lee Strasberg. And Burt Young thought Lee Strasberg was a woman. He had no idea who he was. And then he wrote Lee Strasberg a letter and got into the acting school, and his career.
Unbelievable.
Wow. What's his real name?
Gerald Tommaso de Luise.
Yep. From Corona,
like Dom
Queens.
DeLuise's brother?
No, he wasn't. He was from Corona, Queens. And he boxed in the Marines. He boxed professionally. He was unbeaten as a professional boxer. He boxed like 14 or 17 fights, depending on what interview you read with him. A fascinating guy.
Yeah, wow.
Was he a knockaround guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. That's great stuff.
Trained under, his manager was Customato.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes. His manager was Customato.
Oh my God, that's wild.
Long before Cuss got to Mike Tyson,
wow,
he was managing knockaround guys like that, and he managed Burt Young.
Wow. He was awesome in the Pope of Greenwich Village as Bedbug Eddie.
Yeah. And Back to School. Don't forget him in Back to School.
Yes. Yeah. Great stuff. Mikey, great stuff with you. You're fantastic. We love you. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, fellas. Have a good one.
Always thoughtful, man. He's the best. Mike Sielski on the Xfinity mobile call-in line. Let's take care of some business. And then and let's do our man Devon, because I know everybody's waiting. I'm dying to hear what Devon has to say in the breakdown of last night. Let's talk some jerky. The jerky has arrived here.
Oh, we got a new shipment in the house. I don't know how long
I saw Andrew. Andrew just lit up. He like, oh, dude, the jerky's here.
Yeah, the Slack channel's like new jerky. He's like, never has anything had more likes than the Slack channel.
Yeah,
jerky's here.
The righteous felon jerky. Not just any jerky, right, Andrew? The righteous felon jerky.
It's the best jerky on the market.
It is.
Hands down.
It's
best
so
jerky.
Oh, it is addictive. It's great.
Oh, man. So if you're craving the perfect snack that satisfies your hunger and provides the right amount of protein to fulfill your body's daily needs, well, we've got the solution. It is Righteous Felon beef jerky and meat sticks. The jerky and sticks, they're sold in your favorite local retailers like Wawa, where they're running a 2 bags for $10 best value you'll see anywhere deal on jerky right now. You can get them at Costco, Giant, Royal Farms, thousands of independent stores. And what's more, Righteous Felon helps you fuel your favorite Philly athletes by working with nutritionists of each local pro sports team to provide jerky and sticks for players to eat before and after their workouts and as a refueling snack during the games. So, if Righteous Felon jerky and sticks are good enough to keep your Philly pro athletes from performing at the top of their game, it's got to be good enough for you, the average Joe Schmo, too. Now, if you're the kind of person who wants a deal and snacks delivered to your doorstep, you can order online at righteousfelon.com using the discount code PHLY20 for 20% off. And they got all kinds of cool variety packs, bundles on the site, so it's also the perfect gift for that special meat snack lover in your life. Again, the discount code is PHLY20 for 20% off your order on righteousfelon.com.
Oh, man, it's the best.
Get that jerky.
I give it to the kids for games.
Oh.
It's great. It's so good. Oh, man. Hey, how about this? The Philadelphia Football Roundtable, right? It's going to be live tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, Bet Park Sportsbook, inside Parks Casino. Talk Birds football at the halfway point of the season. A free event hosted by Bet Parks with the Axeman, nice. Jeremiah Trotter, 6-time All-Pro Pro Bowler Mike Quick. How about Seth Joyner, D Gunn? All presented by the Bet Parks online casino and sportsbook app. Got to be 21. It's just an awesome event inside the Bet Parks Sportsbook at Parks Casino. You don't want to miss it, man. It's a free event. Come on, hang out.
Free?
See, yeah, free. See the Axeman, see Mike Quick, Seth Jordan, D-Gun. All there, presented by the Bet Parks online casino and sportsbook app. Tonight, Sixers, you said, are 9.5-point dogs.
Yeah. Take them. Why not? They bounce back tonight.
I'll give you a play, though. It's going to hit.
All right.
I don't know. Points up?
This early in the day, it's usually just like over 25 or over 30. Let's see.
Give me Edgecombe. Edgecombe had a little bit of a down shooting night last night.
Yeah.
Embiid's not going to play, right? Back to back. There's going to be points.
So Edgecombe over 20 pays 135.
Yeah. Give me Edgecombe. I gave you Maxey last night over 30.
Yep.
And he had 39. I'll tell you, I'll take Edgecombe. And I could say it could be an Oubre night, your boy.
Maxey over 30 is minus 129.
Yeah, listen, he's going to be tired. I don't know that he gets the 30 tonight.
Oubre over 20 plus 120. All you Oubre people out there.
I could see it's got a vibe. Now, I don't feel great about the game itself because I can see it getting out of hand. But I think Edgecombe. I like Edgecombe.
All right.
I think he's going to score tonight. Anyway, here it is. Your Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Got to be 21. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now, joining us for the all PHLY Sixers. We've been waiting to chop it up with this man. Nobody knows the round ball like him. Our man, Devon Givens, on the Xfinity mobile call-in line.
Devon Givens,
NBA.
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 Devon.
Here he is. Good morning, my brother.
Morning. How you doing?
Good. Now, I don't know if you caught any of the show. We've been talking about the whole Embiid thing from last night and, why, like, what the end goal is to kind of get him integrated. And at some point, he's going to have to close out games. He's going to have to be a part of it. Like, how do you play? What's his role going to be? Like, you're trying to figure all that out.
Yeah, it's tough, man, because obviously going into last night with the one loss, things looked pretty good outside of game number one. Things have looked pretty good. They seem like they had started to settle in and get used to that 20 minutes, maybe stretch it to about 23, 25, depending on how the game is going, see if he can come in and finish a game off. He tried it against Boston. He was okay. They just lost by a point. They made that run. Last night, it did not look the same. It went the other way. The difference, of course, was they had such a lopsided lead when he left the game that it seemed like it was their night. and all they had to do was hold on. He didn't have to come back, and it would have been fine. But when he came back in there, as you guys talked about, I was paying attention to watching and seeing what you guys were saying, and it was not good for what you might try to play out and see if this is the way to go the rest of the way, at least in the short term, because we don't know if this all improves and his minutes start to increase, and see how it goes. But just too many problems defensively. He wasn't good, and once he came back into the game, offensively he was so rusty because he sat for so long that the shots, as soon as you saw the shots about to be taken, you knew that they just weren't going in because of what he looked like in the flow of things, and how the ball had stopped popping around and stopped moving and all. So I don't know. I think they're going to continue to do it like this and see where it goes, because you saw how it was playing out early, where the substitution patterns were pretty normal when it comes to him and Bona and how they were going to go about it. And he seemed like he was fine. He was rebounding the basketball. He even contested a few where we hadn't seen him do so in the first 6 games. And everything seemed cool. And even when he left the game, he had done a couple of bad things, like the over the head pass, where I looked at Kyle Derrick and Bree and said, that's a 20-point lead pass that you try to make. You're getting cute and you think you can make it. If it gets through, it looks great on the highlights and it adds to your 20-plus point lead. And little did we know that was just the start of, once he was taken out of the game after a few of those possessions, and they still were leading by 17 or whatever the score was at that point, that they were going to have to resort back to him. And the other issue with that is that Bona was bad.
Yeah.
That was the bad Bona. And that was the reason why you had to bring Joel back into the game, was because Bona was bad. So they have to figure that part out. Bona is good one day, he's bad the other. And I was saying to the team last night that the reason Drummond didn't play is because you knew you were going to need him tonight for the second night of the back-to-back.
Yeah.
And so they had to figure that out. I also went on a little bit of a thing last night about, hey, you have a second-round pick at pick number 35. That's the extension of the first round. That guy should be able to play a couple of minutes when you need a few, when you need to steal a few. Now, I assume they thought that the lead was going to sustain, and maybe around the 4 or 3 minute mark, they would have a double-digit lead, and Hunter Salas and Janai Broom can come into the game. But that was not the case, and it stinks that you couldn't bring in your second-round pick to steal some minutes, knowing that Drummond and Bona were going to have to play big minutes on the second night of a back-to-back against a good Cleveland team.
I know. Because ultimately the game was lost when the lead was lost. Like, you still should have won the game, but when they lost that lead, it forced you to bring back Embiid in that spot. I think you're spot on with he sat too long. Like, it's hard to bring him back when he sits like that. Like, he needs to be, his spurts need to be managed.
And if he was going to come back, we also talked about where he, as the veteran of this team, with a lot of veterans, but a veteran of this team, he's still a franchise guy with Tyrese Maxey, that he has to come in and understand that he has sat that long and he can't take the shots. And one of the things that I thought I saw last night and threw at the guys last night was, when he's sitting there on the bench and he sees things just fall apart the way that they did, nobody can score. Even Tyrese Maxey, who was phenomenal, he couldn't score. Oubre could score, but his spurts were different with the foul trouble that he was in, is that he thought that he could just unlock it and let me bring things home tonight, knowing that he was also not going to be playing against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he couldn't because he sat that long. So that is something that they're going to have to monitor and see how that plays out throughout the remainder of the season, if they can sit him for a while and if he can come back in and his knees are not leaking, where they've rust up a little bit and need some oil on them, that if he can get that touch back that he had earlier in the game. So in that, what do? You set those screens, you make those passes. Guys cut off the ball where he is aware, not the overhead pass, the more tight, crisper two-handed pass, or the one-hand pass that you know is going to get there, because every possession is so valuable right now while the momentum has shifted. That's what he needed to do last night, and he did not do it. And as a result, he is a big part of why they lost there in that second half. I was looking at his stat, man, as you guys were talking. I didn't see this last night, but I was looking at his stat. that said that the Sixers are the first team in NBA history to score 45 plus points in the first quarter, 75 in the first half, and then score under 40 in the second half and lose the game.
Yeah. And
How does that? That's ridiculous.
and you know, especially like these games, these are like AAU games, right? Like, so in the first half, there's no defense being played whatsoever. So it's like run up and down, up and down, up and down. And then, you know, everybody starts to go, all right, second half, you see it. Like there is, and in the fourth quarter, and you've seen it, Boston, you're like, teams all of a sudden they start to play it. Like it's a different game in the fourth quarter as it is in the playoffs. In the regular season, it's about the fourth quarter when teams start to really kind of lock down on possessions.
Sure. And the trend that we've seen with the Sixers this year is third quarter is their trouble spot.
Yeah.
And then in the fourth quarter, they tighten up and they close the game out. Last night, it was both the third and the fourth quarter, even with a 22-point lead. They had a 24-point lead in the first half, 22-point lead still in the third quarter, and they could not close things out. So their third quarter has been their trouble spot, and they have to figure out why they keep coming out of the locker room and can't defend, number one, to your point, but then also not scoring enough to make sure that the difference in the game is it doesn't come back and get them. And again, I thought even with that, because to your point, the NBA, like we've always said, as long as I've known you and we talk about it all the time, it's a game of runs basketball is, and that includes the NBA. You knew Chicago, because they have been too good this year, they weren't going to quit and they were going to make a run. How are you going to withstand that run? Well, I thought the Sixers did, because even when I think they cut it to about 15 and the Sixers pushed it back to 19, I said, okay, this is their night. This is going to be their most complete game that we've seen all season. Instead, it wasn't. And the turnovers, the poor defense, the transition defense again started to hurt them. The fact that they could not defend the rim and Bona couldn't rebound, and you're getting guys in there for Chicago. The numbers weren't big offensively, but it was just a matter of offensive rebounding, of when they happened, and then the fact that they were able to get points off of them. So I think they were even in turnovers in that second half, somewhere around there. But they were able to score Chicago like 15 points off the Sixers turnovers, where the Sixers were in double digits off of the mistakes made by Chicago. So the runs, the offensive rebounds, again, crushing them, the transition defense, and the fact that they could not take advantage scoring-wise off those miscues by Chicago, where the Bulls did that against off the Sixers' mistakes.
Yeah. No, I'm completely with you. And then, you know, and Tyrese had, well, you can see his legs were tired at the end. And, you know, they didn't have a field goal for the last 5.5 minutes. I mean, Tyrese was 0 for 5, right? Like, that's when you know that, you know, you're gonna have to figure out. And once you get George back, like, it's another integration thing. You just got McCain back last night. So there's a lot of integration going on and a lot of experience. We got Watford, right? Like, there's a lot of guys that you got to figure out kind of what's this. It's like a science project, you know, chemistry, what fits.
It really is, with the four guards that we've talked about. George coming back, Watford game 4, and he looked good on Sunday, did not look good last night, and how that all works. The whole thing of it is, hey, you have extra ball handlers to take some of the pressure off of Tyrese Maxey, and everything worked where they scored their 75 points in the first half. It was the second half where the things that we've seen play out really well for them with all of those players just did not. And you're right, the integration part of it seemed like it was fine, because you knew McCain was going to be on a restriction against Chicago. He played his 15, didn't look all that great, but he's gonna be fine in the long run. And they were up by 20 plus, so it didn't seem like that was going to be an issue, where ultimately it was, because you needed that extra ball handler. You needed somebody that could take some of the minutes away from Tyrese Maxey and put some points on the board as well when he gets into his struggling phase a bit. So those things, Nick Nurse, that science project that you talk about, there's still plenty of time in the season with 75 games, but to see that play out the way that it did, where you saw so many good things, including the bad. They're lucky to be 5-1 just because of how many times they've dug themselves the holes that they did, to then have the fourth quarter to come back and be one of the best fourth quarter teams in the NBA. But they have to, again, find out a way of how to bounce back. Like tonight, I heard you guys talk about it, and VG says, why not take them at that 9.5? We thought this was going to be a scheduled loss against Cleveland. Winning this one against Chicago, play a competitive game on the second night of a back-to-back against Cleveland, have a few days off, and then Saturday, Sunday home back-to-back, and see if you could take those against Toronto and the Clippers. This one was tough because that one was there for you. You had that one. And again, a scheduled loss like tonight with the ebbs and flows of an NBA game or the season, you're okay with it. So yes, the integration process and not just the McCain George piece in Watford, it's still, to your point at the very top is what you said, Ant. It's the Embiid part where you're still trying to integrate how he's going to be on the floor, how long he's going to be on the floor, who he's going to be on the floor with, and what to do with that entire process of playing it out. Who gets what? Can he keep up with their pace? Can he slow it down and it not be a problem? Because honestly, that was fantastic the way that he did it by getting his 20 in the first half or double digits in the first half, where it wasn't stagnant. The ball was popping, the ball was moving. He was getting his looks, but everybody else was still moving. The free-flowing flow of the offense was still there. Second half, it didn't seem like that was the case, especially when you don't have other scoring like they have been in previous games.
Dude, the first half was just, I think that's what's so frustrating. The first half was beautiful. It's everything that you're like, oh man,
100%.
this can work. This is fun basketball. In the second half,
yeah, but you can't look at a first half of a early November game and project it as this is what it's going to look like.
Of course, but it's a possibility because you don't know how Embiid's going to play with these younger, all these guards, and it was like, oh, it's working. The ball, like you said, the ball was moving. It just looked, it was fun basketball to watch. And I think my issue now, like you're right, the sitting in was that long. So if you're going to ramp them up minutes, go first half slightly into the third quarter, then in a week slightly more into the third quarter, and work them into the fourth quarter instead of what they did last.
I just don't think he thought they were going to blow that lead,
right,
and to have to bring it back like that.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I also thought that when he did bring him back in the first half, because when he sat in the second half and they were still leading by as much as they were, you were thinking, man, could they blow this so wide open that he only has to play a few minutes in the third, where they just punch them and push this to 27, 30 points where it's really out of reach, and then he doesn't play the rest of the night, and it doesn't even reach that 20-minute cap that he's at. Maybe it's 15 to 17, and can you maybe steal him on the second night of a back-to-back a few minutes just because of the way that this one went? And then again, it just you don't expect it, and you try to protect yourself in doing so. But even when you have that type of lead in the way that everyone else is playing, you thought it was kind of secure. Not getting ahead of yourself, because you can't, especially against the team 5-1 on their home floor. They play they're undefeated at home. You have to make sure that you go out there and continue to punch. But they didn't think that they were going to have to bring him back into that one last night at that point of the game once they took him out in the fourth.
Hey, sit tight 1 second. We are in overtime, OT. Overtime in the city, right here on PHL. While you're watching this on any of our streaming elements, watch us on YouTube. Please subscribe, like us. It helps the algorithm, all right? Become a diehard. We've got some great stuff, man. Our PHLY Sixers crew is the best with Devon and Kyle and Derek. I mean, just great Coop coverage, but great all-around coverage with every sport, including BG Unblocked. Don't forget that tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, BG Unblocked. All right. So moving ahead, how do you like McCain? Like, what do you see McCain, Grimes, and how it plays out with VJ and Tyrese?
One thing that I agree that Kyle mentioned last night, I thought was a good point, was when you look at them as we try to figure it all out, the good thing is that you can have one of those players on the floor at all times with Joel Embiid because of their scoring, ball handling ability, including VJ Edgecombe with Joel.
Yeah.
But when those two come back and you see now that we were running through going 9-10 deep when they return, let's just say that George and Oubre are round out the starting lineup, right, with the guys. And Grimes and McCain with Watford, Barlow, Bona, and then Drummond, Edwards, Walker down the line of deeper in the bench. that's a pretty good 9-10 rotation that they'll have right there. And the good part is you can cut down on some minutes that we see are playing way too much right now for especially Maxey and Edgecombe, and getting those back, getting the ball handling back, getting the shooting back. The shooting is not sustainable at as high of a clip. They are at right around 41% as a team, but the threat of his shooting ability, his ball handling, his creative finishing around the rim also is going to be good. Now, we didn't get a chance to see him with Grimes last year, so another integration period that you talked about is going to be on full display. Defensively, we know what it is as another 6'2" guard, but he competes and he is tough. He doesn't back down. So we'll see how that also plays out. But I think it's a good problem to have, Ant. And to your point, where you just said it with VG, it's still November, so seeing how it works and giving them an idea of how much time they have and where it's going to work, where it's not going to work, the mistakes are going to be made. But I think it's going to be more positive than it is negative, just because they can score the basketball as a team, getting up there, one of the top teams in the NBA, and scoring the way that they are. I think he'll be fine because of the skill set that he brings. I mean, shooting is paramount in the NBA. It's something that we've argued about with the Sixers' decisions a lot over the past few years during this Embiid era, where they haven't had enough. Now you have quite a bit, and so with him being one of the best. And then if George is way better, there's no way, in my opinion, that he shoots 31% from three like he did a season ago. It's not going to happen.
I agree.
So with the four guards plus him, Oubre's numbers are going to dip, both points per game and 3-point shooting. He has been tremendous in all those categories on the offensive end. But even with that, plus Embiid taking more threes as well, and his scoring ability when he's out there, I think they'll be fine. Yeah, and I'm generally optimistic about a lot of things, but I will also tell you I don't like it. I think they will be fine with the four-guard rotation, because when you see around the league with so many different teams that have these four guards, and we would sit there together, I'm sitting there with you and I'm saying, why don't they have that here?
Right. Right.
They have it here now.
Yeah, you're right.
Now
I agree with you.
Now we just need to see it. Now we just need to see it because we haven't gotten a chance to see all three from a season ago, and then all four from the start of training camp into the regular season because of McCain being down. But I think they'll be fine. I think he'll be fine getting himself back into the mix. If he had made his shots last night, let's just say about 2 or 3 of those that he took, we were like, oh, okay, there it is. We see slowly getting it in. The shots weren't bad. They were normal McCain shots.
I didn't have any issue with that. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And then even on his one assist that he had where he drove and dropped it off to Embiid on the left side there, a little dump-off pass for a baseline finish that Embiid had. That was a good decision-making by a guard who was a threat to score, but also a threat to pass. So, and that was in a half-court set. That wasn't even in a fast break opportunity. That was in a half-court set. So I think he'll be fine along with the others. It's just a matter of everybody being good with the amount of shots that they're going to get, because that's a lot of people to feed. And if everyone buys in, like we thought when we talked about it on Sunday after their blowout win over Brooklyn, that was an idea of what it could look like. And it was everybody sharing the ball, everybody's scoring, everybody's getting a piece. And with it, nobody's upset. Nobody's complaining. Everybody got their numbers. And if that is the case where you have some unselfish people understanding, and they all talk about it, what the end game is, then I don't think it should be a problem with him getting himself back into the rotation and getting his opportunities.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, that's the biggest thing. The biggest challenge is, can you feed everybody, man? That's really it. Because Maxey's got to have the most, right? Like, that was always my concern with Grimes. But I give Grimes a lot of credit. Like, I think he's played really well within, because that was a worry of mine. You and I talked about it. And I think he's, and you said this, like you're like, I think he can adapt his game. And I think he has. I give him a lot of credit. I think he's been unselfish. And, I think he's taken I like his shot selection for the most part. So, the biggest thing when you add McCain and then George full time is everybody's got to eat.
Yeah. The Grimes piece, he was bad last night. Just no way around that. He was bad. If he was his normal self, they win that game.
I know,
But
I purposely wanted to praise it for
yeah,
off of last night
yeah,
because
he's been good,
I've been happy with the way he's played.
including that 13 assist night that he had. What
Yeah,
was that, the Brooklyn game, or was that the game before?
the
Well,
Brooklyn
he had
game.
13 assists. Yeah,
Yeah.
and to your point, you're just dishing the rock the way that he was. And if we all remember last season, it was terrible. We remember his scoring. Also remember his playmaking because they
Yeah.
gave him the ball as a point guard quite a bit. He and Jared Butler, they shared that role, and he was really good in that dual role. So now it's just, hey, you're coming off hot microwave type score off the bench, but we're also going to need you to feed Tyrese when he's out there. Edgecombe has to get his also, and now McCain. So when those two come in off the bench or they're staggered a bit, Grimes comes in for Edgecombe, McCain then comes in for Maxey, and they shuffle that around some point, and it's a 3-guard lineup that we've seen quite a bit. We'll get a 4-guard lineup. I'm sure we saw a little bit of that last night. He has been really good in that role. So with that, again, I mean, the best, as bad as Brooklyn is, and I said it at the time, that's their problem. The Sixers needed to play their game and blow out that team, which they did. And we saw a really good version of what the Sixers potentially could be. And when George comes back, one thing we know about George is he's not going to hijack things. He's an unselfish player. He does. Sometimes we want him to be a little bit more selfish and go out there and score a little bit more, where he will look for the others. And a veteran like that is also maybe going to try to, if they believe they're going to get to the playoffs, they're going to pace himself a little bit for when they do get to the postseason, that you can start to up those minutes and maybe up those shots as well. But you're right. Maxey's going to have to get most of the touches. Grimes is going to have to get his also. And George is going to come in, and he's a smart player. He watches it. He sees how it's playing out. He knows what his role is to start to just ease himself back into it. But defensively, that's going to be most important because their perimeter defense has been so bad so far this season that they're going to need him for that. But man, good problem to have, I think, with the talent that they have. And if everybody says, they keep saying it openly, that this what their goal is and what all is, and Maxey with the new standard, you know what you're going to get every night with this basketball team. Well, they know where everything starts, and it starts with Tyrese Maxey. Then when Embiid is out there, it's going to be him, and it goes on down the line. Hot hands, hot nights, they're going to happen. They're going to have stuff like they did last night. Well, we're going to be frustrated as hell the next morning because you don't blow that. And because of what they have been doing and because of what they have just said about this team being a new standard, we saw this with the Sixers before. Every NBA team blows the lead and loses. But when you have it like that on the road, a team on their back, on their heels, and you just need to make sure you keep them down and punch and keep punching and keep punching. And that's where George is going to come into play, a healthy McCain as well. Grimes making better decisions than he did last night, quite frankly. And also just the big fella being a lot better down the stretch when you need to close out a game. Because like you said at the very top, man, at some point, no matter how they mix up those minutes, he is one of the best players on the team still. He has to be out there to close the game, and it cannot look like that.
All right, last thing, and I want to do this with you regularly, right? And it's more of a league thing. So I'm going to read you the games that are being played tonight. And I want the 3 things that Devon is watching. Like what players or what are you looking at for the association? Because you're such a great basketball guy, all right?
I like this. Yeah, I like this.
So, all right. And again, this is non-Sixers because you already went through it. So here are the games. You got Jazz, Pistons, Nets, Pacers, Boston, Washington, Minnesota and the Knicks at the Garden, Rockets and the Grizz, Pelicans, Mavericks, Heat, Nuggets, Spurs, Lakers, Thunder and Portland, and Warriors, Kings. That's your lineup for tonight. A great lineup of hoops.
That's a lot.
What do you got?
Anthony Edwards is supposed to make his return against the Knicks. Want to see how he responds to the hamstring because we know that's a big deal and you have to be careful with that. And so that's number 1 because I have Minnesota as one of the sleeper teams in the Western Conference. As much as they could be a sleeper,
right?
I had them as being a sleeper team. So how he responds in coming back, they haven't looked great so far to start the season. So it's important for them to get him back and get him into being Anthony Edwards and how that plays out. And that starts with the Knicks tonight. We were talking with Legs on Monday, Legler, and he's calling a game tonight on ESPN for this Lakers and Spurs game. Lakers have been a surprise, man. With
how about
with
Austin Reeves? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, man. And look, I knew he was a good player. I didn't
Not
know he was
those
this
kinds of
good.
numbers, though.
No, he's been amazing. And so with him and then the Spurs, after having one of their worst games of the season, coming back against this Lakers team in LA, and I want to see Wembanyama against that front court, Castle, and what that team looks like, Harper as well, but seeing what that looks like.
I mean, Wemby and Luka, I
I
can't wait for that game. I'm actually looking forward to watching that game.
That's why it's on tonight, right? Because of those matchups. So I am looking towards seeing what that looks like. And the earlier games, I had one that you laid out there, but there were so many that I forgot of the list of teams. I'll pull it up while we.
So Houston, Memphis, New Orleans, Dallas, Boston, Washington.
It was the Houston Memphis one because of all the stuff that's going on with Ja Morant.
Oh yeah.
Everything surrounding him now, where it is going off the rails so fast with Memphis that's a key point for me right now to keep an eye on of how that happens, because if they keep losing the games and he keeps being a disgruntled guy, will they start to shop him?
Yeah.
Will they start to shift the attention elsewhere and try to get something right now? Not now, but as it plays out and we keep monitoring it, and if it keeps going the wrong way for Morant and the Grizzlies, then what? What? Because for me, look, the guy is super talented, but if you look around the landscape of the league and you say, where's he going to go?
There's no fit. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Where does he go? I mean,
I don't know. Because
San Antonio?
I'm not disrupting that when I have Harper. I'm good there because I have a real point guard that's a pass first point guard.
Right.
That's going to look to get Wembanyama his.
I know.
Castle,
but everybody else has a point guard as a lead guard.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it Boston? And
I thought about Boston, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know how he would fit once you got Brown, Tatum, and that whole mix. What makes them good is that they play defense too, and White is a valuable role player.
100%. Yeah, you don't maybe you don't want to disrupt that. He can't go to Houston. You don't want to give up those things and keep him there in the conference like that. I don't know, but that is one to watch. So when you say Houston, Memphis, I'm going Houston wins the game.
What about Orlando?
They're 1-2 because I expected them and the Hawks, to be quite honest, that when we talked about right before the season, really good off seasons for both teams, and Orlando has not looked good at all. I mean, they've had their moments, they've had their wins, but we saw them up close last Monday when the Sixers played them, and the Sixers got into them. They got underneath their skin. Joel didn't even play in that game. That is when VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey go off. Quentin Grimes goes off. Everybody has their piece. Oubre as well. So that Orlando thing, and then you're seeing the frustration is just boiling out. We saw it with Desmond Bane against the Sixers, and even last night when I saw some of the highlights and watching as much as I could, that he had this really bad flagrant where he got ejected from the game, again, out of frustration because of how bad things are currently right now with the Orlando Magic. So that's an interesting story because where is Jonathan Isaac to help their defense? Why is he not playing? And the whole Bane thing has not worked out the way that you thought. Banchero and Wagner are doing what they typically do, but it's the same issue that it was not last season, the season before. It's not resulting in enough wins to scare people the way that you thought.
No.
So and
they need some firepower in the backcourt.
And I don't understand. I don't understand why it's not working because the firepower with Bane is there and Suggs coming back, you thought it would be the Suggs from 2 years ago before he got hurt again with the outside shooting, where he shot the ball, the lights out from behind the 3-point line.
I mean, I think you need a true. I think you need a real. I think you need a legitimate one. The one thing about Bane is he's hit or miss at times. Like when he's on, he looks great. Like he's cooking, but he's got a lot of nights where he doesn't have the apron on.
Yeah, but I thought Suggs was that one. I really did. I thought he was that lead guard.
I mean, if you put Ja there, I mean, Ja could work there.
He could. He could. I do. I just wonder if, because Suggs doesn't need the ball in scoring wise as much as the rest of the team, will that Morant fit? Will that get in the way of how they like to play, where the ball is moving around and you get guys? And I'm not saying he's unselfish. I mean, he's not. He's a selfish player, Ja Morant. I just think Suggs is more of a true point guard. It's just not. And defensively, if you bring in Ja Morant into that situation, Suggs isn't the first team all defensive player.
Yeah.
Ja Morant's far from it.
Yeah.
And where's your defensive mindset there out there on the perimeter, if that is the case? Anthony Black, yes, but even that, he's not been as good as I thought he would be as a defender consistently for the Orlando Magic in that backcourt. So that is a team, to your point, that's one to watch. But those other ones, Lakers, Spurs, Anthony Edwards coming back against the Knicks, and watching Ja Morant.
I love it.
Against
I love
that
it.
team.
Three things Devon's watching in the association.
I like this. Okay,
we're gonna do that each week. So I love
and
it.
I don't mind. I like the unknown of it, where you just throw that out there, and I have to go on the fly on that one. I like that.
Good. My brother, we love you. What time today?
We have a 6:30 pregame. Tip-off is at 7 in Cleveland against the Cavaliers. And the Cavaliers are 7th seed right now in the Eastern Conference, but they're still, 4-3 or something like that. So they're at home. So they have the home court. They were off last night. So pregame for us, 6:30 tonight. And then postgame, 10 minutes immediately after the game goes final, we will have the postgame show on the PHLY Sixers postgame. Off on Thursday and Friday because we have another set of back-to-backs on Saturday and Sunday, 2 home games. So 6:30 tonight, off Thursday, Friday, back Saturday and Sunday for both pre and post on Saturday and Sunday.
Love it. Listen, brother, you guys are the best. We love you. Thanks, pal.
Thanks, man. Love you too.
There he is, the great Devon Givens. Talking hoop. I'm geeked out. Like, there's a lot of good sports, man.
Yeah, it's your time of year.
I know. I love it. I mean, football's starting to heat up, dude. I can't wait for the Eagles. I gotta tell you, Monday night.
I got Monday to wait.
I know. I love where they're at. Like, dude, they're in my mind. Like, I was worried about Detroit. I still think Detroit's really, really good. Tampa, whatever. I think, Seattle. I like Seattle, but I'm not in the fear of Seattle. And the Packers, but without Tucker Kraft, and the fact that they go up and down, I don't know. I mean, the Birds are just, if they just get this run game figured out, they're nobody's stopping them in the NFC.
I don't see it. The Lions didn't do anything at the trade deadline, which is weird. Like, they're just like, yeah.
Well, they're getting their defense healthy, so they're going to get guys back. So that's why. But
we'll see.
I think they're legitimate. That loss, I can't explain.
I think
that
they're
loss.
good, but I just don't think they're as good as the Birds.
I love where they're at. I just love where they're at right now.
Your person who wrote your cup, it's like, yeah, it's almost Friday. Should be like, yeah, it's almost Monday.
Yeah,
that's what you need on your
cup. By the way, I love that.
I like the notes on there.
I like the notes.
It's good handwriting too.
Yes.
It's like a happy handwriting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. I was thinking about that this morning when I saw it. I was like, I like that.
Yeah.
I do.
Big Starbucks test market said they know people like it.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, do I know it's phony? Yeah, I do. But it's still, it's human. Why, you make a face?
I'm just smiling.
Okay. You look like you made a face.
No face. I was just smiling.
You didn't like it. I like it. I'm ready for the cups. When's the holiday cups coming out?
I saw them already. I've seen them on social media.
Yeah?
Yeah, I saw them out there. They're
Wawa cup coming out soon. I think that's coming out
might have been the one I saw. It might be the Wawa holiday cup.
Yeah. I think that's coming out. I stopped. I had to
Holiday
drop
Cup?
Mossimo off at school.
Did you get a gobbler?
I'm so tired. I had a gobbler. I had last night. We had football practice, and now it's getting with the time change, right? Dark. So practice starts in the dark.
Yeah.
Like we have practice 5:45. That goes to about 7:45, right? Then last night we had basketball. So we went. He had his change of clothes. We went right from football to basketball, and I didn't get out of basketball till 10. Like I got home, maybe it was like almost 10 o'clock when I got home.
Wow.
I caught the end of the game.
Yeah.
It was like the end of the game. And then I cooked, and then we cooked. We ate pasta. And then I was sitting watching, I rewatched the Flyers, and then I rewatched the early part of the Sixers.
Wow.
I didn't go to bed until, I don't know what time it was. Like
What kind of pasta you cooking up?
last night we just had spaghetti.
Any protein?
No. No. We just had, he needed it after practice.
Yeah.
So that was our night. Like that was a long.
It feels so. I was like, it's only 5:45 or 5:30 last night. It's dark.
Oh yeah, well, I'm
man.
saying we're on the field. We're practicing.
Yeah.
It's dark.
Yeah.
This time of year, especially this time of year, like it's dark early, man. You feel it.
It felt like it was 7 o'clock for 3 hours yesterday.
Yeah.
It was like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and it felt like it was 7, and it was like, oh my gosh.
We're just in the middle of the cycle. Like pretty soon it comes like 4:30 and it starts to get dark. I was so jealous of VG last night. Can I just tell you? So VG hits me with he was going to stay in, and then he found out that
I got sucked in by a social media post of a local establishment having Chimay in stock.
So I love Chimay.
I agree.
Give me the belt. I love Belgian beers.
Yeah.
I love Belgian beers.
Dark, it's chilly.
I don't think I've ever had one.
A Belgian?
I don't think I've had that Chimay.
Oh,
There's a bunch. Chimay, Duvel. There's a bunch of them.
I'm a Duvel.
Good.
I love my favorite beer is Duvel.
What kind of beer is it?
It's Belgian.
Dark Belgium.
The Duvel's golden.
Yeah.
It's a golden ale.
Okay.
It's unbelievable.
They're heavy hitters. They're like 9%ers.
Yeah.
When I was in Brussels, every night, because we went as the family, right? So the kids were younger. They were like we were inside. They were inside. I'd take a book and I'd walk. We were right near the square, and I'd sit in a cafe, and I would have the big fresh Duvel, and I'd read, and then I would order like the frites, like the Belgian fries, that are just ridiculous. And so like I would just sit, and I was every night for like 3 hours. I would read a book, drink 3 Duvels, and order a basket of the
Belgium
frites.
is so underrated food-wise. I thought it's the best food I've had throughout Europe. I really enjoyed myself. Well, I haven't been to Italy yet. Other than Italy, of course. But Belgium
France is
really
legit, but
France was good, but
Greece
I thought
is
Belgium
good,
was better.
Really?
Yeah, I love the food in Belgium.
It's underrated.
strong
It's a
take
sneaky- it's
to say
a
that.
good country to go spend a
I
couple
agree.
days.
I mean, all those like the steaks and it's good. It's good. It's really good. Yeah, I'm with it. But the beer is so fresh. Oh
So
my
good.
god.
And it's weird. There's not
Making
there's
me
not
thirsty.
an American beer on the menu.
No,
Nothing.
no.
What do
Their beer is ridiculous. It's just so tasty, man. When you hit me with it last time, I'm like, oh god. That's all I've been thinking about is drinking in Chimay.
I had to drag myself out of there. I had 2. I was like, no more. I won't be able to get up. Get out of here.
You're like you needed a big dom to.
Yeah, I need a big dom to look
take you
after
out.
me.
Yeah. All right, let's go back in the day.
We're gonna go back.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with True Mark. Oh yeah.
So I wanted to give some love earlier in the week. It was Larry Holmes' 79th birthday.
Holmes.
Yeah. Eastern Assassin popped up. I wanted to go back in the day to June of 1982. Gentleman Jerry Cooney.
Wow.
He just pummeled.
Larry Holmes had the greatest jab.
He pummeled Cooney here.
His left jab.
Takes a beating.
He must be made of iron.
His left jab was ridiculous.
A little ref. All right, break it up. Right, guys. Cooney's
suddenly to have gone.
Look how fast.
And he can
Look how
hardly see
fast
out of the left eye.
the Holmes
Holmes is
was.
working him over unmercifully now.
A bubble in his head.
Up a finishing attack here. And he's gone. He doesn't want to go down.
He doesn't want to go down.
That's like one of the biggest hyped up fights of like in my
trainer,
childhood was that
I remember
Holmes
that fight,
Cooney.
yeah.
I think Cooney was undefeated.
You know,
They were both
years
undefeated going
later-
into that.
You remember who was George Foreman? I had Larry Holmes talking about George Foreman, and I'm trying to remember the circumstances. But he started trashing George Foreman, ripping him. He's no good. He was a fraud. I was like, wow, like what?
I love those guys. They all did it. Like Smoking Joe would be on like Howard Stern just shredding Ali like years, decades later.
Oh my God. It was unbelievable. I was like, this was like I was on WIP and I had him on like it was some big happening. I don't know what happened, but George Foreman was the focus of it. Did he pass? I'm telling you.
I don't know when he passed.
Right?
Or if he passed.
Like, so what happened was I had him on to talk about.
Yeah, he passed. Last year he passed, huh?
Yeah, but I had him
no,
there was
this year.
something on it. And he was talking about Foreman, and he was just ripping him. And I was like stunned. I didn't realize like he was like a gentleman too. Like we were talking about somebody else, and then the subject moved to Foreman, and he just started trashing Foreman.
Wow.
He was interesting.
Larry's usually a classy guy. Does a lot of charity work in
he was
it,
a
like
good
right
man.
outside of the Philly area.
I remember really liking him. Like, wow, man, what a gentleman. I'd interviewed him a couple times when I was at the Post and I was doing boxing. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. A lot of fun, everybody. Love geeking out with you guys. All right. Love you guys. Be safe. We'll see you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.